haven't met a lot recently in the playoffs. In fact, the last time they did was in the Norris Division Finals in 1985. 3 of those 6 games went to overtime, and 1 of those went to double overtime, so be prepared to stay a while when these 2 teams play in the playoffs. And Tommy, the Stars back in the playoffs last year for the first time in a few years. The Blackhawks have a long and rich playoff tradition.
I don't think there's any question when you think of playoffs. The Chicago Blackhawks, one of the teams, the old traditional teams, have been around for many years, as you said. 21 years straight now they've been in the playoffs. When you look at the experience, they have over 1,100 games totally. The North Stars just a little bit over 500. So the experience may take its toll, but when you're in the playoff, it's totally a different atmosphere.
A little bit later on in this telecast, Tom will visit with North Star Kurt Fraser, and we'll set this matchup more for you later on. Now back to you, Barry.
Is out, keeping him fresh for tonight. Monday and Tuesday, he was back practicing in the Met.
To go here, the North Stars and the Blackhawks in the playoffs. It wasn't known until just a few days ago that they would play each other for certain, but it was a done deal that the Hawks were going to be in the playoffs, and the North Stars actually wrapped it up with about a week or so to go. Tommy, what a difference a year has made for both these teams, including as far as getting in the playoffs, particularly the Blackhawks.
You know, the Blackhawks last year got into the playoffs in the last game in overtime to get in that 4th place position, but played very well. The pressure was not on them. They got into the playoffs. They beat out the 2 teams they played against, Detroit and then St. Louis, to advance against Calgary. But the North Stars right now in 3rd place in this division. What they want to do, obviously, is put themselves, I should say 4th place, is put themselves in a position where they can come in here as the underdogs that we talked about. The fact that they are a little bit looser, I think, than Chicago. The North Stars have a big defense, bigger than the Chicago defense. But Chicago has got some real speed. So the one thing the North Stars have to do is slow down those wingers, because they can go on the outside, they can make some damage done. But Minnesota, I think, is a little more relaxed in Chicago right now. You talk to the players before the game, and the North Stars don't feel the pressure as much as I don't believe that the Blackhawks do.
We'll be back from noisy Chicago Stadium as the playoffs begin in just a moment. Stanley Cup playoff competition, and the puck will drop in minutes here at Chicago Stadium. Welcome back. Along with Tom Reed, this is Doug McLeod. It's the North Stars in Chicago. We just saw Donnybrook here on Sunday night in a fairly meaningless game that ended the regular season, but now the second season begins. Keys to a playoff series, special teams certainly very important. Good aggressive physical play, and goaltending could be the key matchup here in this series.
You're absolutely right. When you look at the goaltending, the North Stars have gone with John Casey as of late. Kari Taco got in a couple of games, I think, just to get some of the rust out of his limbs, but he played extremely well. Yeah. He has played well, but John Casey is going to get the call for the North Stars. At the other end, they've got a player who just came here recently from Quebec, and that's Greg Millen. He's had a very unsettling year, being in St. Louis and then being traded to the Quebec Nordiques, and then finally just before the season ended to the Chicago Blackhawks. So he's excited about being here and a chance to talk to him before the game, and he feels very confident. But he knows, he said, it will be a good series, and nobody's going to win in 4.
And the funny thing about Greg Millen, no matter what kind of season he has, he loves to play the North Stars and has done very well. The big, noisy national anthem at Chicago Stadium and the Stanley Cup playoffs are next. Try to win what will be their biggest road game of the season today as they take on the Chicago Blackhawks here at Chicago Stadium tonight. Welcome back on Receptive Channel 9 along with Tom Reed. This is Doug McLeod, and tonight the 1990 Stanley Cup playoffs begin, the Norris Division semifinals. The North Stars have not won a game this year at Chicago Stadium, though they do have a point here in that brawl-filled tie in late December. We had the big brawl during the pregame warm-ups. The Blackhawks have not won a game in 4 tries at Met Center this year. The North Stars feel if they have a chance in the playoffs, and they feel they do have a very good chance, that they must win on the road and win early. That's what they'll try to do here tonight as John Casey goes against Greg Millen in the nets. Now, the most electrifying national anthem in hockey as they kick up that big Chicago Stadium organ, and here's Wayne Messmer to get it going, the national anthem. tell you, the blood gets up. I like Jimmy Bowers, but Wayne Mesmer does a job. 17,317 and change at Chicago Stadium tonight as the Stanley Cup playoffs begin.
And a look at the North Star goaltenders. We told you it will be John Casey on the year. 61 games with a record of 31 victories, 22 losses, 4 ties, and a goals against average of 3.22, 3 shutouts, and one of them was against the Blackhawks. And Greg Millen getting the call in 49 games total this year. Goals against average of 3.89 with 19 victories, 25 losses, 5 ties. And let's go to the first game of the playoffs, and Doug McLeod with the play-by-play.
Here we go. Lace them up and strap them on. The Stars and the Blackhawks are playing hockey. The face-off goes to the North Stars. Musil's puck to neutral, but there's Dave Brown for Chicago. Sean Chambers in his own zone. Up to the point. Brown tried to bat it in, but here comes Gaetan Duchesne with 7 points in his last 9 games. And a quick one out of here at 18 seconds of the first period.
Most important for both of these teams to maintain their position on the ice. So one thing they don't want to do is to get a lot of penalties. And Pierre Pagé has talked to his troops the fact that our specialty teams may be the teams that carry us in the playoffs. So let's play smart. Let's take care of things. Mike Keenan, on the other hand, also realized the importance of staying on the ice rather than the penalty box. He doesn't want penalties as well. And so you'll see both of these coaches try to use their strategy, especially with Mike Keenan with the last change he gets here on home ice.
Neil Broughton, Don Barber, and Brian Bellows, the North Star high-potency forward line. Chambers and Musil on defense. Chambers and Secord locked up. Some hard centers for Larmer. He goes down with Casey to bust it up. Now the puck up to the blue line, and it flutters to center. Sean Chambers and Neil Broughton got drilled away from the play. A puck at it by Millen to the corner. Broughton back up and apparently all right. Puck in the North Star zone, or the Chicago zone rather, bounding for Larmer in the corner. Coming up on the 1-minute mark of the first period, Bellows comes in to try and break it up, but Larmer will punch a high one, trying to break it for Adam Creighton, but across too many lines, and will face it off back in the Chicago zone.
A look at Steve Larmer, who has played in 59 playoff games for the Blackhawks with a total of 65 points, and certainly plays well in every playoff series, and a guy they look to and led the Chicago Blackhawks in scoring. He had a great chance here. He broke away from Brian Bellows. He took the pass, but you can see John Casey coming out to challenge him as well. Here's the other angle, and Dennis Savard, who did not play the other night, made the perfect play to his line mate right there, but right there you can see he was trying to cut to his left. Casey was able to come out far enough to throw him off the puck, and the North Stars clearing the zone.
Now with 19:04 to go in the first of a scoreless game, Mike Modano comes out on a line with Shane Sherla and Gaetan Duchesne. Mark Tenorti having to have his chin strap looked at by referee Terry Gregson, and Larry Murphy's the other defenseman. Ron Hogarth, who worked at Donnybrook the other night here on Sunday, incidentally, is the alternative referee here tonight. Terry Gregson, the referee, Bob Hodges and Gerard Gauthier, the linesman.
Well, you can see that strap will not do up for Tenorti right now, so he'll play without it being not done up.
A game where the strength of your chin strap might be of some interest, if it is the physical game everyone here expects and pretty much hopes for. Larry Murphy skies the puck into the Chicago zone. Duchesne bucks one off the side and off the stick of Greg Millen. Now behind the Chicago net it goes. Here's Duchesne. Blocked by Creighton. Kept the puck. Shane Sherla now in the corner. Duchesne breaks free. Sherla fires behind the net. Pulled off the right side by Michel Goulet, who came in from Quebec with Millen in early March. And we're going to have a penalty as Conroy and Sherla exchange the time of day. And now Duchesne is down there bumping along with Brown and Adam Creighton.
Well, we're going to have one penalty, and that's going to go against Mike Modano. A good check, and the one thing the North Stars need from Mike Modano is some more aggressive play. That looks like a good check, but see how he got his left arm up, and so he will get called probably on the elbow. And so the first power play of this series will go to the Chicago Blackhawks as Modano is called at 1 minute and 21 seconds of the scoreless first period.
2 minutes for an elbow.
Elbowing it is to Modano at 1:21, and the Blackhawks, who have one of the top power plays in the National Hockey League, will go on the man advantage for the first time. 22.9% on the season for Chicago. And the North Stars penalty kill is also one of the best in the league, 5th best, holding opponents to only 18.6%. The Chicago Blackhawks have had a miserable-looking power play against the North Stars. It's been only 12.8% against the Stars this season. Now, this is a 23% power play, but against the Stars, it's been only 12.8%, and at home, it's been only 8.7% against the North Stars.
The referee is calling Mark Tenori to come over to the bench right now to get that strap taken care of. He can't have any extra equipment that might fly through and hit someone in the face or whatnot, so he had to have that strap taken off. As Dave Smith, the equipment manager, was able to do that, and Mark Tenori back on the ice to kill off this penalty on the defense position along with Sean Chambers.
So only 8.7% against the North Stars here, although the Hawks did get a power play goal against the Stars on Sunday night. The North Stars' only goal was on a power play. It went to McRae, but actually was fired in the net by a Blackhawk player. Chicago on the power play. Tenorti, Neil Broughton, Gavin and Chambers to kill it off, and they shoot it all the way down.
Good play by Neil Broughton. Got the puck, put it off the backboards as he was being checked by Savard and Troy Murray at the same time, and Tenorti just very alertly shooting the puck down the middle.
Chicago's Dennis Savard has the puck, but not for long. Gavin rolls it back into the Chicago zone, and Millen directs traffic with 1:21 to go, and the Hawkman advantage.
You notice how quickly the North Stars got their penalty killers off the ice. They want to keep the guys as fresh as they possibly can.
Kurt Giles off the skate, but here's Dave Brown for Chicago, sharing the point with Doug Wilson. Now Brown is there at the point. Blocked by Duchesne. Loose in the slot, and Duchesne whacked it away as Larmer wound up on his derriere.
Good defensive play by Duchesne, blocking the shot, then being able to get right back in position to shoot the puck down the ice as there are 50 seconds to go in the penalty to Mike Modano of Minnesota.
2.5 into a scoreless first period in Chicago. Hawks jam it in deep. Here's Kurt Giles. He whistles it high and away. Duchesne could not get to it, and Doug Wilson will pick it up back in the Chicago zone. Wilson, who holds the record for the most assists ever by a Hawk defenseman, and is close to that record of 54 coming into this game. He has 50. 25 seconds left in the Chicago power play. Here is Dave Manson back in his own zone, but Neil Broughton giving him some trouble. Hawks deep in their own end against Gavin. Now Adam Creighton will carry it out. 12 seconds in the Chicago power play. Here's Jeremy Roenick, the good rookie, down the left wing. Roenick, the only rookie in the Blackhawk regular lineup. Here's Steve Thomas, 3 seconds in the power play. Roenick is there. Now the power play expires. North Stars full strength. Gavin jammed it out of the zone, but there's no icing. Sails back in. Now they play it back out to neutral, and here's Sean Chambers for Minnesota. Dave Gagne is there. Slices one for Frantisek Musil. Musil carrying over the line. North Stars offside. 16:21 to go in the first period. No score as Musil and Yanni will get to it a little bit. Musil, who had to sit out the other night after blocking a shot on the season-ending road trip with his foot, getting into it a little bit there, but apparently no blood will arise. We'll be back from the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Television has purchased the broadcast rights of the Minnesota North Stars hockey games solely for the entertainment audience. No broadcast, rebroadcast, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and account of this copyrighted telecast is permitted without written authority of the Minnesota North Stars and KMSB Television.
Coincidental roughing minors assigned to Trent Yanni of the Blackhawks and Frantisek Musil of the North Stars at 3:39 of the first period. Now the puck is cleared out of the North Star zone. Al Secord back in his own zone. Now to neutral. Giles will carry it to the point and flip it in. 4 minutes into a scoreless first period in Chicago. Larmer squirted away from Gavin, then checked by Gagne, but here comes Dennis Savard crossing with Secord. Savard there. Couldn't get in around as he put a deke on Chambers. Fans yelping for a penalty, but none forthcoming from Terry Gregson. Hawks would have been offside, so they let it go. Tenorti rips one out to neutral. That'll carry him into the Hawks zone with Dave Manson in pursuit. Up now for Steve Conroy. Ranked by Bellows at neutral. The puck sails into the North Star zone. Tenorti peels it off the inboards. Jump by Creighton. That's going to be a penalty on Adam Creighton.
Now that's where Tenorti's got to back up. Let Creighton take the penalty.
Right.
You want to back up there. There's lots of time. There's lots of games remaining. He and Creighton had words earlier on, and Creighton gave him a little bit of a stick. And so it will be Creighton who gets the call on this, and he took a run at Tenorti from behind.
And a North Star power play.
Year we're 11th overall in the National Hockey League on the power play, 21% scoring 81 goals. They'll have their first power play of this game as Creighton is called for charging at 4:37 of the scoreless first period. Watch it right here. You'll see as Creighton goes in here, he doesn't even care about the puck. Look how he just leaves the ice. And he was trying to hit Tenori from behind, got him, but at the same time resulted in a shorthanded situation for the Blackhawks.
First power play of the night for the Stars. One of the concerns for the Hawks coming in, and Mike Keenan, was that this team is the most penalized team in the National Hockey League. Over 30 minutes a game on average, over a period and a half in the penalty box for the Blackhawks coming into the start of the playoff. Don Barber really getting worked over by Greg Gilbert down there. Now here's the Hawks' Troy Murray. Shorthanded as the puck in his own zone. Murray still hanging on and killing time. And whips it into the North Star zone. Now Gilbert is there on the boards with a drive right to the glove hand of John Casey. That is the first shot on goal of the hockey game for either side, and it came at 5:16 of the first period. Neil Broughton now on the power play for 1:14. Bellows cut off by Dave Brown in the corner. You hear the players calling to each other on the ice. Puck to Gilbert of Chicago, and he jams it out of the zone. Larry Murphy chops it away from Lemieux. Chambers now for Larry Murphy. Stars on the power play for 54 seconds. Sean Chambers half neutral. Here comes Brian Bellows for the Stars. The drive whistles awry. Chambers for the point, shoots one high. Inside right point, Larry Murphy will one-time it, but right onto Doug Wilson's skates, and Wilson will crank it the length of the ice.
North Stars with two good opportunities to shoot the puck in the net, but on both shots, they were wide of the net.
6 minutes gone in a scoreless first. Half a minute remaining in the North Star power play. Ulf D'Elia, number 22 for Minnesota. Now here's Aaron Broughton just back in the lineup. He was out a couple of games, last 2 games of the regular season, after colliding with a stick blade in Buffalo and being a little bit hurt. Here's D'Elia trying to stuff it through the goal crease, but no. A chance to Neil Broughton, and his wrist shot whistles wide. Wilkinson will crank it for the point, and his shot goes just awry. Hansen on the end boards, 3 seconds, 2-1. That's the end of the power play. Chicago now at full strength. The Stars have the puck. Neil Broughton's drive deflected high and into the crowd for a playoff souvenir. Broughton to Broughton, and now Neil Broughton will have a few things explained to him by the Blackhawks.
Troy Murray came in there, got the stick up on Broughton as he took the shot, and they exchanged some unpleasantries. We'll see if the referee, who is Terry Gregson, will make any additional penalty calls against them. The linesmen are Bob Hodges and also Gerard Gauthier. As you look at one of the newest acquisitions, Ulf D'Elia of the North Stars, coming from the New York Rangers in exchange for Mike Gartner.
No penalties will be called, and at that stoppage of play, Musil and Yanni can finally get out of the penalty box as well. Pierre Pagé stressing that this team must play the way it did early in the season and in its late season run. A good, tough-checking defensive hockey team. This is what got it here. He was clearly concerned that that game was not present here on Sunday night in a 4-1 loss to Chicago in the last game of the regular season.
He was certainly not very happy. Neither was Mike Keenan. I don't think, even though they won the game, I don't think he was overly enthusiastic about the play of his team. And they were without the likes of Denny Savard and also Doug Wilson, who sat out that contest.
Our Stars now using Duchesne, McRae, and Sherla as a forward line with Tenorti and Giles on D. Here's Dwayne Sutter for Chicago. The long angle pass to Michel Goulet. He came in for Quebec along with Millen. Now the puck to Mark Tenorti of Minnesota, up for Shane Sherla. Over the line, Duchesne, the blast just whistles off the blocker and sails back out to neutral ice. For Giles for the Stars, up for Shane Sherla. A lot of muscle on the ice for the North Stars. Puck behind the net now. Giles is there. Gary Olson of the Pioneer Press this morning called it the SWAT team. Stars with added toughness. Sherla, Tenorti, McRae. Now here's Manson. Nice little deke. Comes out of his own zone. Ahead now for Jeremy Roenick. That will filter in onto Casey, and he'll cover up. With 12:21 to go in the first period and no score in the game, as the Hawks just kind of filtered it down. Shots on goal, only 2-1 Minnesota here. Now better than 7 minutes into the hockey game.
Well, look at John Casey, who is certainly no stranger to this building and the Chicago Stadium. And I'll tell you, he has been so loose the last couple of days here in Chicago. And usually he's so quiet, doesn't say a great deal, but he is very, very excited about being in these playoffs. And I look at also the fine young rookie for the Chicago Blackhawks, number 27, Jeremy Roenick, out of Boston, Massachusetts, just 20 years of age. And Iraqi scored his first goal against the North Stars back in February the 14th of 1989.
Valentine's Day, one of the great days in all of history. The puck comes out to the point. Manson tried to drive it in. Turned out of a crowd. Now Musil away for Don Barber. And here's Barber. Turned back. Now Wayne Van Dorp. Checked by Bellows. Puck in the right corner. Musil throws the check. Chambers plays to the point. Manson tees up a drive right on and a save by Casey. Up the near boards, and Don Barber will play it out for the North Star. He got checked by Thomas at neutral. Puck squirts into the Chicago end. Manson dumps it away, and the Hawks' Adam Creighton will flipper it back out to neutral ice. Van Dorp crunched by Wilkinson as the puck pops free, and Neil Broughton picks it up. Now Don Barber for the North Stars couldn't hang on to the puck. And it's pulled clear by Dennis Savard. Over the line to Al Secord. Here it is for Wilson with a shot. Turned away by Casey. Now Gavin at neutral ice. 1-on-2. Gavin right up the gut. And Wilson flipped it away. And there just about knocked it in his own net. Penalty coming. A drive on the left side from Gagne is on. A hooking penalty on the Hawks and a North Star power play when we come back. 11:18 to go in a scoreless first period. Monday and Tuesday at 7:35. Hope to see you there. Be sure and get your tickets ordered at 989-5151. That's area 612-989-5151. Met Center Ticket Office or all Ticketmaster locations. In fact, Ticketmaster is open right now for another hour till 9 o'clock, so you can still order tickets tonight.
Here's a chance by the Blackhawks as Secord makes a play back to Doug Wilson. He had room to move in there, but he took the shot away. John Casey able to clear that puck off the side. But watch right here as the captain of the North Star, Stuart Gavin, going in, trying to get away. Doug Wilson hooking him back there, pulling him back. That's what you call a good penalty, rather than allow him to walk right in. And so the North Stars go on their second power play. We are still scoreless here at the Windy City.
Wilson for hooking at 8:42 of the first period. And Gavin was not to be denied. You saw he got a good solid wrist shot away anyway, but that time he wasn't able to put it on net, but he was going to take the shot anyway. Isle of bodies finally popped away by Troy Murray, but here's Ulf Dillian for the North Stars. To the point, one time Neil Broughton, no. Whacked down on a deep slot by Steve Conroy and all the way into the North Star zone. Now Neil Broughton sharing the point as always with Larry Murphy on the North Star power play. Gagne, Dillian, and Aaron Broughton are up front. Murray leading the penalty kill crew down deep for Chicago. He and Greg Gilbert, Conroy, and Brown are the penalty killers. At the point, Larry Murphy for the North Stars. A drive right on and sticked away. Ulf Dillian jumps the rebound. He was off balance. He'll tap it from his knees, but Millen will knock it away. Neil Broughton offers it down to the left corner. Aaron Broughton is there with Dave Brown. Mixing it up, Dillian. Puck squirts free. Murray taps for Conroy. And the Hawks clear it all the way down. 1:07 remaining in the North Star power play. Just under 10.5 to go in a scoreless first period. Here's Wilkinson now on the right boards. They bang it around. A crank at it by Manson. Actually hit the referee. Center shot, score by Brian Bellows. And there's the big point for Bellows. That is number 100 as he nails his 56th goal of the year and his team-leading 22nd power play goal. Well, it's the North Stars 1, the Hawks nothing.
The Chicago Blackhawks trying to clear it, actually hit the referee Terry Gregson with a puck right here. And boy, I'll tell you, that hurts. Play kept on going as the North Stars were able to control the puck again, getting in the side. And look at Brian Bellows in that familiar position to the right of the goaltender, and he puts it away. A perfect pass coming around there. We'll pick up once again as you see the shot by Manson failed to clear. Mike McDonald with that quick pass over there, able to put it away. And the North Stars lead by 1. Perfect pass for the rookie. And he's the guy that can make the difference in this series. He's got to play a little more aggressively. We've seen that from here in this first period, and he's gotten the North Stars off to a big assist to that fellow right there, Brian Bellows, who's had a superb year.
Has he ever? He was just named the National Hockey League Player of the Month for March, and he started working on April right now. Power play goal by Bellows at 9:57. It's 1-0 Minnesota. Savard now for Al Secord in the Hawks attack. Puck bounds to the left corner, shot by Duchesne. Right behind the net, and a penalty is going to come as Larmer got deep sixth, turning off the side of the net. Now Chicago will get a power play, but first there will be a little exchange here. Basil McRae talking it over with Secord. Apparently will come to naught, and the Hawks will have a power play when we come back. 9:44 to go in the first. North Stars 1, the Blackhawks nothing.
Still will pick up the penalty for roughing at 10:16. But here's the play right here. You watch a little hook right here by the play, just pulling him down, and that's the reason for the call. And the North Stars will be shorthanded. 10-16 the time of the penalty.
By the way, the assist on Bellows' goal just to Madonna at 9:57 of the first period. Power play number 2 for the Chicago Blackhawks, who, as I mentioned, were 8.7% at home against the Stars this year, but pretty good power play numbers otherwise, right up at the top of the league. Neil Broughton drags it away and tops it to neutral. Here's Stuart Gavin. He'll fire one into the Blackhawks zone. They turn it clear. Now Chicago's Steve Larmer. Larmer, Secord, Wilson, Savard. Wheeling around out there, and Keith Brown completing the power play unit. Now Secord fires it behind the net. Here's Keith Brown down the right board. Secord and Tenorti down there. Finally, it was poked away by Savard. Here's Dennis Savard in the power play for Chicago. North Stars lead 1-0. A blast hit the goalpost. You can hear it ring the metal from here. Doug Wilson with a big crank.
Well, that's a play they certainly practice all the time, where Savard will get behind the net, everything jams the front, and that'll bring the defenseman off from the defensive position to get that loose puck and just blast it.
1:05 left in the Chicago power play. Puck in the corner. Now Brian Bellows turns it out with a fist in his face from Wilson, and it sails down on to Chicago goalie Greg Millen. It was 5-4-1 since he came to the Hawks from Quebec, from St. Louis. Now in front of the net, and a big poke check by Casey. Got it away.
What a save by Casey. Is he able to get that stick once again? Not only did he have to watch the puck carrier, he had to watch the winger coming in on the far side, and the players have got to realize they've got to watch those guys. They can't be mesmerized strictly by the puck carrier.
Now the puck on the left boards in the North Star zone. 25 seconds remaining in Musill's hooking penalty. Stu Gavin pulls it away. Bye-bye. Now in 17 seconds, the Stars will be at full strength. Chicago with a puck in its own zone. Now Yanni. 8 seconds left in the power play for the Hawks. Casey flips it away. Savard couldn't play it off the top of the rail. Tenorti trying to get a clearance. Gavin whistles it all the way down, but that, the end of the penalty, and that'll also ice the puck, as the penalty had expired before he fired it out of the zone. The power play is over for Chicago, but icing is called on the North Stars now with 7:38 left in the first. 1-0 Minnesota.
John Casey made a great save, as he had to, as we mentioned, get that stick out and poke it away. And I'll tell you, he has had just a great game so far. He's had 2 good saves in this period, but have really been key saves, because the North Stars got caught flat-footed right here. You'll watch it, he comes out with that big stick and able just to take that puck away. And the North Stars giving up that little bit of room to the rookie Jeremy Roenick right here. But John Casey has been at his best for the North Stars in the last 4 weeks.
Has he ever? In the last 10 outings, John Casey is 8-2 with a 2.79 goals against average. His regular season numbers are pretty good. 3.22 goals against, 3 shutouts, 896 saves percent. But 8-2, 2.79 his last 10 starts. Both teams full strength as Dave Manson floats it in for Chicago. 1-0 North Stars lead on Bellows' power play goal. Now at neutral. A running whack at it by Millen. Sutter and Murphy mixing it up back in the North Stars zone for a moment. And the puck now winds up out of play.
Now Sutter's going over to Murphy right now, trying to get something started, and we'll see if maybe there might be an instigating penalty being called against him. The referee, Terry Gregson, saying, let's go, guys, let's break it up. They had it back in the North Star zone, back in the corner, as Sutter took a run at him right here. Look how the elbow come up with the end of the stick there. And watch Murphy right here. Very wisely uses his stick. That's the old pro. But Sutter also with a lot of playoff experience, the most on either team. 141 games he's played in playoffs, of course, with the New York Islanders as a member of 4-time Stanley Cup champions.
One of a few ex-Islanders in this hockey team. And Larry Murphy, a tough customer. He is certainly no newcomer to this league. He has seen it all. He has been involved in some of the longest and most arduous playoff games in history. At Washington, where they seem to have a knack for it for a while. 7:18 left in the first. 1-0 Minnesota. North Stars win the draw, and Kurt Giles fires it back down into the zone. Fencing Nansen and D'Elia behind the net. Here comes Mike Modano to the corner, and it goes up high. Larry Murphy back on the ice, fires right into Creighton's equipment. He'll dump it back in, but the Stars won't be able to play it, or they'll be offside. Dave Manson for the Blackhawks. Does the head Deacon. Boards it out to neutral. Creighton too far for Thomas. Thomas trying to spring free of Larry Murphy. Couldn't go. 6:45 left in the first. 1-0 Stars. Now Modano. Hook blast right on the save by Millen. Turned back out by the Blackhawks. Jeremy Roenick. Roenick gliding through neutral ice. Drop pass. Creighton the drive. Wide of the net. Roenick plays it off the boards. Gets on Duchesne for the North Stars in the corner. Oh, and he got cranked up high by Creighton. Murphy at neutral ice. Tenorti over the line. Tenorti watched by Brown. Shoots on a blocker save by Millen. Turned away now by Chicago's Troy Murray. Blackhawks come out to neutral ice. They trail 1-0. A blast goes way up in the crowd and out of play.
The North Star zone about 20 feet inside the blue line. We got 6:08 to go in the first period. The only goal of the game by Brian Bellows, a power play goal. And that gives him 56 on the year. The assist went to Mike Modano. And the North Stars 1 for 2 on the power play. Chicago's yet to score on 2 power play opportunities. And right now shots on net by Minnesota 7, by the Blackhawks 4.
And again, this game started tightly. Now here's a penalty coming against the North Stars. And as Brian Bellows touches the puck, it will be whistled. It's going to be a hold. And referee Terry Gregson particularly watching him as they mixed it up over in the corner.
Well, Musil is going to go again. That's the second penalty of this hockey game. He can't afford to do that. Right there, you could see the referee watching right now as he had his hand signaled, and he just pulled in Thomas, and as a result, with his third penalty, I should say, not second, but third penalty of the hockey game, the Blackhawks will go on the power play once again.
It's interesting to read and hear what some of the players are saying about penalties in here. Good penalties, of course, you'll always take. You have to take them as part of the game. But some of the North Star tough guys were particularly thinking, you know, who do I not get into a fight with? Who do I not retaliate to? You know, where is it a disadvantage to my team if 2 of us go off? You know, yes, I go off, but what about the guy going with me? A lot of fun given to that, needless to say, as the playoffs begin. This is power play number 3 for the Blackhawks. It'll be killed off by Neil Broughton and Stu Gavin up front. Mark Tenorti and Sean Chambers on defense for the North Stars. Neil in there hacking away for the face-off against Dennis Savard. Comes to the point for Keith Brown. Behind the net, John Casey. Whoops! Here's Savard! Hit the side of the net! Whoa! And Larmer will pull it free. To the point now for Brown. Here is Doug Wilson. Back for Brown in the right circle. A blast right on by Larmer. Creighton turns it away and up the right board. Steve Larmer again for the Hawks. Brown at the point for Larmer. Here's Wilson at left point. Savard wheeling. One time, Wilson right up the gut. Saved by Casey. Into the corner for Brown. Checked by Neil Broughton. Larmer. Here's Savard. High slot. Taps it back. Wilson give back to Savard. 1:18 in the power play. They cranked it. Broken up by Neil Broughton. It hit Brown up high. Big scramble. Savard for Larmer now. Turning away from Tenorti to the point to Wilson. Now Larmer on the right side. Hawks very deliberate in their power play now. They go deep for Adam Creighton, running it in. Nothing there. Got his pocket picked by Chambers. Stu Gavin is there, and he'll backhand it out of the zone.
Good play by the North Stars. The Chicago Blackhawks trying to get the North Stars to break the box, but the North Stars have been able to be tough in front of their own net.
Lemieux couldn't keep on the puck, and Giles snaps a high one. Batted down by Wilson, but
I think they got too many men on the ice. We're going to see if that's what's going to be the call. It looked like I saw an extra player come. We cannot see the Chicago bench from where we are, but all of a sudden I spotted somebody else out there, and the linesman very quick to make the call.
Both linesmen pointed to the bench. We cannot see the Chicago bench from here, but I think that will be what it is, and it is.
And will certainly create some havoc on the bench, and it's done that for the Chicago Blackhawks as a bench penalty is called against them for too many men on the ice. That will nullify their power play. 44 seconds remaining in the penalty to Minnesota's Frantisek Musil. And so in 44 seconds, without additional penalties, the North Stars will be in the power play. They lead in this game a score of 1-0. They've outshot the Blackhawks by 1. Shot 7-6.
It'll be an all Kurt Giles night in the first intermission tonight. Tom will be visiting live with Kurt, and then we'll have a prepared feature on Mr. Giles also for you in the first intermission tonight. Primetime news, of course, coming up in the second intermission from AMSP TV. Well, now with each team a man short for 43 seconds, we'll do the face-off again. Gagne and Aaron Broughton are the North Star forwards. Wilkinson and Giles are on defense. Savard will keep the puck. Centering for Larmer and just misfired. Casey did not know where it was, so he froze, which was the right thing to do. Now Wilson shoots off the blocker of Casey. Here's Savard. Hawks a man short now, but still firing away. Wilson on the right side. Larmer turning. Checked by Wilkinson. Got it up high for Brown. Centered. Picked off by Kurt Giles before Savard could get it. Larmer on the boards. Kicked by Giles. Aaron Broughton with a nice little flipper. Got it clear for Gagne. Each team a man short for 10. Drop pass from Gagne. Wilkinson the stick deep. Putting it on Wilson right on in the save. Now no stick for Millen as the puck goes off the end board. To pick it up again and fling it away, and the North Stars now are on the power play. For a minute and 16 seconds. But Casey will have to start him back. Larry Murphy behind the net. Now 1:03 left in the abbreviated North Star power play. Madonna quickly ahead for Bellows. Crossing the line, the Stars will be offside if they play it in. So Madonna picks it up in the neutral zone, wrapped up by Murray. Gilbert knocked it away, but Murphy swings it clear for Minnesota. Neil Broughton now for Larry Murphy. Ahead for Mike Madonna at neutral. Forward pass, Bellows over the line, right point, 43 seconds power play. Here's Smith behind young Don Barber up from Kalamazoo mid-season and hasn't gone back. Madonna, center point to Larry Murphy. A drive right up the gut and off the stick of Millen. 33 seconds in the North Star power play, and as Madonna fell, Gilbert carries it clear for Chicago. Larry Murphy will pick it up for Minnesota. 23 seconds in the North Star man advantage. Bellows didn't see it for a moment, and Roenick will pull it clear. But off the skates of Neil Broughton, the Stars get it back. 15 seconds power play. Neil Broughton, here's Barber, moving right in, centering. And nothing doing as Madonna was locked up and decked by Savard. 5 seconds left in the power play for Minnesota. Larry Murphy in his own zone, eyeballed by Roenick. That's the end of the power play. And Chicago is now at full strength with 2:39 to go in the first. 1-0 Minnesota. Sherla floats it backhand into the Chicago zone. Secord turns it back up. Now the Hawks will flipper it away to neutral, but Frantisek Musil will pick it up for Minnesota. Musil guns it ahead for Sherla on a fluttering puck. Frank one out to neutral. Savard couldn't play it. Conroy will jam it in. And Casey will serve it up behind the net for Minnesota. 2:15 to go in the first period. Stars lead. Chambers angles it away for Gaetan Duchesne. Well, the Stars were offside, but they let it go. Duchesne shot. Hit a little kicker by Millen. That is an in-step half volley if you're a soccer fan. Puck comes out to neutral. Duchesne fires it back in again. They go to the corner. McGill pulls it away with Basil McRae closing in. Conroy shovels it ahead. Kept alive at the point by Duchesne. But now McGill drops his gloves against McRae. And Basil won't have any of it at this point in the game. 1:52 to go in the first period. It is 1-0. Minnesota leads on Brian Bellows' power play goal. We're going to have penalties assigned by Terry Gregson. Both Bob McGill and Basil McRae are going to sit. After that little mini skirmish, back in the Chicago zone inside 2 minutes to go in the game. Penalty time will be at 18:08 of the first period. McRae, who's now the leading penalty minute getter in the NHL, getting his first of the night for the Stars, and McGill will go also for Chicago. McRae and McGill both getting unsportsmanlike conduct penalties at 18:08. Well, Larmer came in and had a good chance here in front of Casey. Point in, just a little flipper in front of the net. Casey down, the puck went behind, back they came. Duchesne, now watch this, first stop by Millen, off the boards, whack off the stick and off the skate, and away to the corner boards. And Greg Millen, who has been the goalie of record 10 games since he's come in from Quebec and is 5-4-1, shot it down there. 1:50 to go, 2 to go in the first period. It's 1-0 North Stars. Tom Reed on his way downstairs to visit live with Kurt Giles. Here's a long rocket from Wilson on to John Casey. Loose behind the net, but Wilkinson will pick it up. Bellows got out around Keith Brown. Bellows shooting a save. Bellows for his own rebound, but no. Pulled out now by Steve Thomas of the Hawks. Picked clear by Wilkinson in the neutral zone. And here's Adam Creighton of Chicago. Standing hip check by Wilkinson knocked him off it. Neil Broughton lost the puck in the corner, but Giles is there. Up for Bellows. Off the boards and out through neutral. 1:12 left in the first period. 1-0 Minnesota. Hawks pick it up in their own zone. Here's Steve Thomas. Away now for Dave Manson. Carries it over the line. Last minute of play of the first period. 1-0 North Stars. On Bellows' power play goal. Now the Hawks, Manson will pick it up. Here's Murphy back in his own zone. Both teams a little bit tired at the end of the period. Very intense period of hockey. Aaron Brock now for Gagne. Over the line. Long center. Murphy centering shot. And Barber just missed it off the side of the net. Whoa, and it was open behind Millen. Half a minute to go in the first period. Now it'll be gunned in by Murray. But the whistle blows behind the play. With 27 seconds to go in the first period. Came from wrong side of the center line. Oh, man, the North Stars set up a 2-on, really nothing back there. Gagne picks it up over the left side. The long pass comes in. Now, here's Larry Murphy, right to the left of that. Barber just had a chance to flip it. He was only going to get one shot away. He really doesn't have time to set it up here. But you see Millen is completely out of the play. Look at Barber. Whoa, he wants to do that one again. Thanks very much. Don Barber, who is third on the team in plus minus. He's only been up since December on a full-time basis from Kalamazoo. Played in 4 playoff games for the North Stars last year. Had a goal and an assist. He's particularly remembered in the playoffs for getting the game-winning goal in game number 4, which sent it into game 5. The Stars eventually losing to the Blues 4-1. 19 seconds left in the first period. Here's Conroy back in his own zone for Chicago. Al Secord. Stars leading 1-0. Final seconds of the first period. Stu Gavin in his own zone. Batted out of the air by Savard. 3 seconds left in the period. Larmer over the line. 2-1. And as he centers one, that's the end of the period. And a big crunch by Musil. And the Hawks will come right in to take a look at Musil. Larmer was the victim, and Musil really cranked him going down the right wing board. This is physical playoff hockey. And as time expired in the first period, compliments being exchanged down in the North Stars zone. Frantisek Musil, you can just see him there, right there, being held onto by the linesman. Really nailed with a big chuck along the right wing on Steve Larmer. Take a look at it coming in. This is where the big dogs come to eat tonight, and the bodies have started to fly. Larmer now with his back to the play. Now look at Musil. Larmer's looking at the puck. Musil has one thing in mind, and he rings him up, and really rings him up solidly. It's going to be a roughing penalty. And the teams now will part and go to the dressing room as Captain Basil McRae, coming out of the penalty box, has a look as well. 20 minutes in the book in Chicago, and on the Phoenix scoreboard, the score at the end of it went to Al Secord of Chicago for roughing after that crunch of a check by Frantisek Musil. It just kind of seemed like Musil has been drawing the attention of referee Terry Gregson here tonight, but Secord got the roughing penalty at 20 minutes. So the North Stars, who outshot the Blackhawks 10-7 in the first period, now start the second with their 4th power play of the night.
You can tell by the way the North Stars are playing, very physical. They are pumped up for this hockey game. They're finishing off their checks. They're taking advantage of having the opportunity to make those checks, as well as you saw Musil towards the end of that period.
So here's the power play for the Stars, number 4 on the night, as we begin the second period of play. The puck comes behind the net. John Casey serves it up down there, and Larry Murphy will pick it clear. Neil Broughton angles to center. Bellows for Barber. Flings it in over the line. Bellows looking around, takes the puck, checked by Conroy. It pops free. Neil Broughton pulling in for the point, but it comes away to Keith Brown of Chicago, and he fires it all the way down. Larry Murphy starts behind the net. We're in the opening half minute of the second period, and the Stars beginning the period on a power play. Now Bellows. Checked, and Larmer will crank it away.
Saw what was happening there. They were not moving on that power play. They were a little bit slow in moving it, and as a result, Madonna would have been offside anyway, but the Blackhawks very alertly shooting the puck down the ice.
Coming up on the 1-minute mark of the second period. Stars halfway through a power play, but it's ripped back out of the zone by Chicago. Power plays have been important in the games between these two teams. In fact, 5 of the 8 goals in the 5-3 North Star win on November 26th at the Met were power play goals. 5 out of the 8 scored between the two teams. Stars had 4 of them. The Hawks had 1. Gagne pokes. Here's DeLeon in the corner for the North Stars. 39 seconds left on their power play. Gagne up left wing. Centering. A tip by Aaron Broughton, and it's bounded away from DeLeon on the newly made ice. And a whack at it by the Hawks. Jocelyn Lemieux sends it all the way down. Casey starts it back out. Gagne with 23 seconds in the power play. Aaron Broughton give back. Gagne there centering. A shot by DeLeon and a save by Millen, who's on the deck. A blast by Chambers just missed the post. That got caught in Terry Gregson's skates, the referee. Outlet pass hit Wilkinson's skates. And finally, the Hawks got it out of the zone. Everywhere they fired it, there was an obstruction. Back comes Sean Chambers. That's the end of the power play. Hawks at full strength. Chambers over. Chip shot. Flips high and off the glass. Shane Shirley with a whack at it. Now, here's Keith Brown for Chicago. To the point. Wilkinson one-times it. It hit Chicago's Brown, I think. Now Dennis Savard crossing the line for the Blackhawks. Right along the blue line. Conroy with a drive. Blocked by Tenorti, and the puck sails out of the zone. Well-timed block by Mark Tenorti. That big body, you launch that in the general direction, it's going to block something. Now Savard shooting off the pads of Casey. Didn't really get a very hard shot on it. Out of neutral, poked by Manson. Away from Savard, and Musil will pick it up for Minnesota. Frantisek Musil. High line drive over too many lines. Stops the play with 17:21 to go in the second. In part by Procter & Gamble Crest Toothpaste. 17:21 to go in the second. Stars holding on 1-0.
Well, Greg Millen coming up with some big saves. The North Stars had some good chances. Watch this little pass by Gagne right over to the far side. And you can see DeLeon having a problem handling that puck, and as a result, just goaltender able to make it. And then right there in the clearing attempt by Troy Murray, the North Stars had a chance. But also Denny Savard, he was going for that 5-hole. You could see the opening there between the pads of goaltender John Casey, but he didn't get everything on the shot that he wanted, and Casey able to come up with the save.
Each team with 1 shot on goal in the first 2 minutes and change here in the second period. Casey, big crunch behind the net. Now pulled clear. Thomas runs it right in, but lost the puck as Musil closed in. Away from Michel Goulet, and cleared all the way back down. No icing, and play goes on. Here's Dave Manson for the Blackhawks. North Stars now using Barber, Bellows, Neil Broughton, Giles, and Murphy. Kurt Giles at neutral, poked by Thomas. Roenick tried to get it ahead, but could not. Now Yanni, and he rips that one out to neutral. Here's Larry Murphy for the North Stars. Past Bellows, picked off by Roenick, and he pops it into the North Star zone. Casey serves it up for Giles. Little back flipper back there, and the bodies colliding. Neil Broughton now taps it ahead, but it rolled off the blade of Bellows. Goulet slams down at neutral ice. And a penalty is going to be called by referee Terry Gregson here at the 3:33 mark of the second period. And it'll go on Larry Murphy. A Blackhawks power play when we come back, with the Stars leading 1-0.
Stars at 3:33, the Blackhawks on the power play.
This is number 4 for the Hawks. Their last one lasted 1:16, and then they had a too many men on the ice penalty. Savard will pick up the puck now for Chicago on the power play. Here is Steve Larmer. Side saddles it, shoots. Big screen, save Casey. In front, a point blank drive by Savard. No, rebound knocked away by Casey and up into the crowd. And John Casey has stood in against all comers tonight.
Well, he certainly has. 2 good scoring opportunities by the Blackhawks right there. Savard made a nice play at the blue line, gave it over to Larmer. You watch the play right here as he'll make the play. Larmer cuts across, but watch where Savard goes, right for the net. The shot comes on the netminder. It looked like it was going to be a deflection, but not able to do so. And there was the shot coming by Savard right at the side, but he had the defenseman tied up there right with him as he was able to pick up on him. That's the key in your own zone, boy. You want to stay with those men as long as you can. And you can see Tenorti just battling him right there. And he still got the shot away, but he's all over him. Then the shot by Creighton going up high over top of the net, over the glass. And the face-off to the left of the Minnesota goal.
Coming up on the 4-minute mark of the second period, 1-0 North Stars on Brian Bellows' power play goal halfway through the first. With Tom Reed, Doug McLeod at Chicago Stadium. From the draw, pulled by Creighton. Creighton trying to get control of the puck, pestered by Aaron Brock. Now Gavin. Pulled out by Gavin. Flipped out through a crowd, and it'll roll all the way back onto Hawks goalie Greg Millen.
Good play by Gavin, just staying right in on top of the puck carrier, and finally forced Creighton to lose that puck, and North Star able to kill some time off of that penalty clock.
Now back into the North Star zone. Casey to play it away. Chambers rips it clear, and it's back out, and Millen picks it up again. Interesting goalie situation in Chicago. They traded Alain Chevrier in March. Then Cloutier went down with a knee strain. And here's old Greg Millen, who started the season with the Blues, then Quebec, now here. Duchesne rips it out of the zone and to the belly of Doug Wilson at neutral ice. 41 seconds remaining on Larry Murphy's penalty. Casey falls down, center by Thomas. Casey jumps back and Lemieux can't fire. Manson at the point, guns it rink wide for Wilson. Here's Manson, one-time blast save in the screen, and nothing doing for Jocelyn Lemieux. Signed as a free agent from Montreal.
He was right in that crease area, got the rebound, but John Casey with those big pads able to come up with it.
What a night for Casey so far. Roenick actually almost lost it in Sutter's skates, but got it back again. 5 seconds, the Stars will be at full strength. Giles whistles it away, kept in by Dave Manson. Now the power play expires. North Stars full strength, and beside the net, Larry Murphy, who just got out of the penalty box. Frantisek Musil, rather. We're high enough up, I couldn't quite tell a 6 from an 8 for a moment. Is Frantisek Musil mixing it up down there with the Hawks? Sutter. So they've bumped before tonight, and the play comes to a stop as the net was knocked off the standard.
Well, the Blackhawks on the power play trying to make things happen right here, shooting the puck in on the far side, and you can see Casey coming out there, maybe able to get the puck to put up in a position where the North Stars could get it and just fire the puck down the ice. Teamwork, a goaltender to a defenseman to a winger and down the ice.
Good fundamental hockey. That's, of course, what gets you here, and that's what keeps you here.
Now the face-off is going to come outside the North Star blue line. That's where the puck was when the stoppage of play occurred. The net came off of its magnets as Sutter and Musil came together.
Mike Keenan crying big crocodile tears for the Philadelphia Flyers in the Chicago paper today. Of course, they did not make the playoffs. His former team said, yeah, spent a lot of time and money on that team. I feel bad, he said. Here's Giles playing it behind the net. Shirley sweeps it away. I'm sure he does. And behind the net, now as they come out to neutral ice, Madonna and Sutter got bumping, and there's going to be a penalty, and I think Madonna's going to get one. Now Shirley's in to do some police work. Duchesne mixing it up with Yanni as well.
Now this could still get ugly. Of course, we expect this rivalry when these two teams get together, and it intensifies so much more when you're in the playoffs.
There's a lot going on away from the play, too, and we don't always see it all.
We may have two of them.
Well, let's see. Madonna's going to go. Shirley came in to help Madonna. Now he's going to go. And I don't know about Chicago. There's a break. It's 1-0. And then Shirley got a 10-minute misconduct penalty. It's roughing to Madonna and a 10-minute misconduct penalty for Shirley. The only good news about that is at least the Stars will not be 2 men short on the ice. And look at Pierre.
You think he's upset? I think he has a right to be upset. You know, you come into this building and, you know, talking to Dale Talon, who's the Chicago broadcaster, he was saying how Minnesota came in the other night to intimidate. Well, that's not true. This team here can intimidate as well as any. They've got some players on the Chicago Blackhawks, I think, that deserve additional penalties as well, but right now, Terry Gregson doesn't see it that way. So we'll try and pick up the end of it and see what happens. See a little pushing right here. Madonna, and good for him, standing up for himself, and that's what I'd like to see. And also Sutter just backing up. Churla coming in there. For that, Churla got a misconduct. Everyone can. Why does he get 10 and nobody else does? Tell me, I don't understand that call. If that's the reason for the 10, that's a poor excuse for a call.
It sure is. Churla gets a 10. Madonna gets a 2. The Hawks get a 5-on-4 advantage. It's their 5th power play of the night. Neil Broughton is without his stick at the moment. Now Wilson shoots one right on save. Rebound save by Casey. And the puck wanders out of the zone. Neil goes right out after it. He needs his stick and will get one from the bench. Here comes Savard. Drop pass. Brown inside the point for Chicago. Larmer throws it behind the net. Crunched by Tenorti. 90 seconds left in the Hawk power play. Here is Creighton in the corner. North Stars lead 1-0. Big drive. Savard. And was almost trickling in, and it just got away to the corner. Now Chicago's Keith Brown. Here's Steve Larmer. Power play for a minute 17. Brown for Larmer. Deep they go. Great right through the lip of the goal crease. Trying to set it up for a deflection by Dennis Savard, but it didn't pan out. Now Savard. Chambers, checked by Creighton. They knock it around, pulled out of the crowd. Forward pass inside the point for Brown. Under a minute to go in the power play for Chicago. Creighton behind the net. Now here's Dennis Savard. Neil Broughton will get it out of the slot and clear it all the way down.
He knows how much that puck is on the outer perimeter all the time. It's not in the better shooting position in the slot area.
Steve Thomas, a long, high puck goes to Dave Manson into the corner. Now Savard. Manson shooting wide left, loose in the goal crease, and Bellows rips it out again. The Stars keeping the slot clear down in front of Casey and not being intimidated or coerced out of that box. Manson with 19 seconds remaining in Madonna's roughing penalty. That whistles in deep. Thomas goes down. Crunched by Giles. Puck carried clear by Savard. 10 seconds. Ionia drive deflected by Duchesne. Here's Bellows off the boards, and Duchesne will knock it all the way down, and that will kill off the remainder of the penalty. And the Stars are at full strength.
Once again, good teamwork by the two players. But Bellows not trying to get the puck all the way down the ice, just giving it to Duchesne to do that for him.
Brent Ionia leads the Blackhawks back down against the now full-strength Stars, although they're without some muscle in Sherla, who continues to sit out a 10-minute misconduct penalty. Thomas off the dasher. Up for Sutter, poked by Aaron Broughton. Manson keeps it alive, bangs one off the inboards. Very lively inboards here at Chicago Stadium. Thomas checked by Gagne. Now Steve Thomas. Here, Lemieux. Casey behind the net, tried to trigger it clear. Kept in by Steve Conroy, right in front, but no. A little flipper by Manson keeps it alive. Sutter checked by Larry Murphy in the right corner boards, kicks it clear. Now Jocelyn Lemieux goes behind the net for Chicago. In for a drive by Conroy, and that's deflected up out of play. And John Casey now shakes off the man, and Wilkinson comes in to grab him.
That was Sutter that came in there, got the stick up, coming in close to that net area, and Casey gave him a little shot. That brought him back, but that also brought the North Star defenseman, Neil Wilkinson, into the picture to grab onto Sutter.
Well, Casey is well into this game, and will Brook know shenanigans down there? Say, Jim, get out of my front porch. 11:17 to go. It'll be Murphy and Sutter with coincidental high sticking penalties.
Well, you watch the plays right here as Chicago coming close in the power play. There's a shot coming by Doug Wilson from the point. And look right here, John Casey right there as Adam Creighton tries to put it over top of him. But Casey has been superb. And the penalties, as Doug mentioned, high sticking against Sutter of Chicago. Larry Murphy has been called for Minnesota. Those penalties offsetting at 8 minutes and 43 seconds. The North Stars in the lead. 1-0. Shots on net now by Chicago 14 and by the North Stars 11. North Stars are just one shot on net in this period where they're spending all their time killing off penalties.
Now from the draw, Casey, little mix-up with Chambers and almost some trouble. And Dennis Savard sniffed that one out of Cape-Cilian. Now a penalty is coming on Chicago. Bellows with a puck. And as Savard touches it, the whistle will blow. There's a holding penalty that happened down behind, and that will negate the Chicago charge as they came charging in to fire away. And now the North Stars will get a power play with 11:01 to go in the second. It's 1-0 Minnesota.
Wayne Sutter down in the Chicago penalty box. He has been called for holding at 8:59 of the period. The North Stars going on their fourth power play. They are 1 for 3. Watch right here. You'll see Churla, but there's the arm coming around, just grabbing onto the stick and everything else and pulling Churla away from that puck, or Chambers, I should say. And as a result, he has been called for holding, so the North Stars on power play number 4.
So here we go as the puck comes back into the Minnesota zone. 9 minutes gone now in the second. Still 1-0 Minnesota on Brian Bellows' power play goal at 9:57 of the first. Neil Broughton over the line. Bellows off his skate, but tapped out of the zone by Chicago's Greg Gilbert. Broughton and Chambers now. Madonna, Barber, and Bellows up front. Here's Neil Broughton. Sean Chambers at the checkered line. 90 seconds remaining in the Starman advantage. And again, Gilbert will crank it the length of the ice for Chicago. Good, solid crunch and playoff hockey before jam-packed crowd at Chicago Stadium. with Tom Reed, Doug McLeod, Tom Meade Jr. down there somewhere. Now Modano centering, broken up by Chicago's Steve Larmer. That was poked away, but here in to help him comes Lemieux. Now Larmer, shorthanded, centering, but nothing for Yanni. Modano pulls the puck away for the North Stars. 55 seconds left, the Starman advantage, broken up by Larmer. Larmer shorthanded up for Manson, broken up, clear puck, here's Manson, shorthanded, a blast save by Casey. Modano hits the deck, he's on top of the puck. It's pulled clear by Neil Broughton, 41 seconds in the North Star power play. Hawks coming at them with abandon in that penalty kill forecheck. Puck back in the Chicago zone now, and here's Manson for the Hawks, and he rips one the length of the ice. Stars with no opportunity to get clicking on this power play so far. Now, Musil will start it back out for Wilkinson. 17 seconds in the North Star power play. DeLeon in the corner. Here's Aaron Block behind the net for DeLeon. Yanni closing in on DeLeon. 10 seconds in the man advantage. DeLeon is there. Crossing. Aaron Brock up the right boards. Wilkinson one-time blast, and it was just sticked away by Miller. That's the end of the power play. Hawks now full strength. Stars continue the attack. Aaron Broughton in the corner. Here's Dave Gagne off the end boards. Gagne checked by Yanni. Running right in. DeLeon tried a shot. Now he's wrapped up and held by Manson on the end boards. And Roenick turns it away for Chicago. Troy Murray swings it up and out of play. The faceoff will come in the Chicago zone with 8:40 to go in the second. And the North Stars still leading 1-0.
Well, Chicago coming very close to scoring a couple of times short-handed. And it was John Casey once again coming up with a big save. Yanni came in from that point position. And I tell you, he had a great opportunity set up by Steve Larmer. You watch Larmer with a puck right now. He'll come to the outside. Yanni comes in from that left point position. And he was able to take that puck and just shoot it. And it was John Casey able to just thwart the effort. And here's a shot coming from Manson as well, as he let that shot go. And Larmer right on the doorstep trying to pick up the puck, but could not do so. He tripped up Modano there. No penalty call on that, which there should have been, but there was none called. And Modano sliding in on top of the puck. Play continued, and right now with 8:40 to go in this period, the North Stars have had just 3 shots on net in this period, and the Blackhawks have had 7.
From the draw, Basil McRae trying to get turned around, bothered by Brown. Here's Duchesne. Full strength hockey with Duchesne on the deck. Back up again. And Adam Creighton for Chicago. Turned back by Mark Tenorti. Right back out for Brown. Tenorti punches Thomas. And here's Larry Murphy in his own zone for Minnesota. Gaetan Duchesne swings it out for McRae. Loose puck in the neutral zone. Duchesne through a crowd. Stepped away from Wilson's check attempt. Now Savard throws it ahead. Thomas ambushed by Tenorti, but here comes Dennis Savard. Savard at neutral. All the way back, lost the puck. Gavin there, checked high by Creighton. And it flutters back into the Chicago zone. Chicago's Steve Thomas showing his first 40-goal season. Nearly had number 41. Turned clear by Casey. Giles is there, checked by Jocelyn Lemieux. The puck loose in the Stars zone, and Gavin will pick it up. 1-0 North Stars. Just past the 12-minute mark of the second period. Here's Chambers for Minnesota. Around Murray. Now the puck loose. Gilbert had trouble getting his glove on, but now plays it away to Conroy. That will hit Barber, and play will be whistled dead. 7:27 to go in the second period. North Stars 1 and the Blackhawks 0.
The Chicago zone with 7:27 to go. The North Stars in the lead, 1-0.
Playoff game number 1, game 2. Friday night here on Channel 9. 7 o'clock we'll start our pregame show.
Steve Thomas just stepping over the blue line, letting a good shot go. John Casey able to see it, but he could not handle it quite as well, but it was just enough to get it away from that net and to get away from the dangerous territory.
Now Chicago's Dave Manson. Poked by Neil Broughton at the point to keep it alive. Manson to the point, kept in again by Broughton, checked by Lemieux. Neil Broughton still there, but now Jocelyn Lemieux will play it away and all the way back into the North Star zone. Casey flings it clear, but here comes Murray with a drive, sticked away by Casey. Loose puck, knocked out to neutral, and the Hawks will chase. 13 minutes gone in the second. North Stars 1, Blackhawks 0 in Chicago Stadium. Wilkinson back there, blasted by Lemieux into the glass. Pulled off by Don Barber, and he zings one out through neutral. I thought that was deflected. I guess not. It will be icing on the North Stars as Yanni picks it up. 6:42 to go in the second period now. We'll go back to the Stars end to face it off.
CPR right now telling his player, let's go, let's pick up the pace a little bit, guys. We've slackened off in this second period, so we need some additional splurges by each line unit as they go out here. As John Casey has just been superb in this game. He has faced 17 shots, and he's stopped every one of them.
.896 the saves percentage. And an excellent record his last 10, as we mentioned. 8 wins and 2 losses. 279 goals against. They jam them in here. Capacity, legal, legit capacity at Chicago Stadium, 17,317. The largest crowd ever here was over 20,000, and that was for a playoff game against the North Stars a few years ago. Now here is Chicago's Steve Larmer right in front and whipped away by Chambers. And we're going to have a holding penalty as Savard was sent.
It looks like Musil. I'm not sure if it's Musil or Chambers going to be called, but we'll have to wait and see. No one standing.
No volunteers.
No one volunteers go right now. Watch the play right here as Larmer tries to come back in front. You can see Secord as he's being grabbed by Musil right there and wrestled to the ice, but we also have players on the other side, and now it's Frantisek Musil going to the penalty box for his 4th trip to that area. Another holding penalty going against Musil.
I don't know why I don't remember to subdivide the penalty section of my scorecard prior to these games. Spilled all the way over and down onto the desk here on Sunday night.
That's the 10th penalty to the North Stars, including a misconduct penalty. North Stars with 28 minutes in penalties, and the Blackhawks was just 14 on 7 penalties. So the Blackhawks going on power play number 6.
0 for 5 so far as the Hawks trail 1-0. Now Creighton on the side of the net through the crease. No pile of bodies. Big blast blocked by Chambers as Brown had a pile to shoot in. Now shorthanded. Neil Broughton rags the puck. Finds Chambers open in the center circle, and he'll hold on for a moment. Savard trying to turn it off, but Neil Broughton regains control. Back for Tenorti and the Stars, killing plenty of time here. And finally dump it into the Chicago end. That killed off 30 seconds right there. Hawks on the power play. Keith Brown to center, guns one in. And blasted by Chambers. Now the Stars have killed off 45 seconds of the power play. Here's Brown in his own zone for Chicago. Doug Wilson down behind the net. Thomas there in the corner. Smacked out of the way by Tenorti. Into the left corner boards. Troy Murray for Chicago. Wilson at the point shooting. Tip. Roenick going beside the net. Couldn't go. Roenick now on the end boards. Tenorti digging away on him. Up to the point now for Wilson. 49 seconds of the power play for Chicago. Tenorti throws the check on Roenick. Pulled clear by Duchesne. Thomas jumps in. Murray comes in and sort of buries Duchesne down under there. Stars appealing for a cross-checking penalty, and I don't blame him.
Well, he got the stick up high coming in from behind as Duchesne tried to stop, and there's no penalty being called, and the face-off will be inside. As Terry Gregson over in the area right now. Duchesne now is talking to the referee about a penalty, and also Kurt Giles down there. Look at Mark Tenorti, who has played a sound physical game, and that's when he plays his best hockey.
Tenorti is not only a good, solid, crunching player, he is +3 in his plus-minus coming into this game, and that is the 4th best on the team. And he knows that he's got to use that big body and play tough to play in the NHL, and that's exactly what he's done.
Look at Dave Chambers in behind the North Star defense, and also as Dave handles the defenseman during the games on the bench.
Say hello to Mark's folks over in Red Deer, Alberta. They watch us on the dish up there regularly. A nice chat with them.
They said they like me, but they don't like you.
Well, you know, what can I say? I just like Panoka better than Red Deer, and so there you go. 38 seconds in the power play now for Chicago, and the puck is knocked all the way down. Doug Wilson on the power play now for the Blackhawks. Kind of up for grabs, and finally Savard will pick it clear. Marked at by Chambers. High puck. Good hang time, and it bounded away from Broughton. Now the left wing is Savard. Dennis Savard on the end boards for Murray, but Troy Murray's on the deck. Fans yelping for penalties there. Murray again. Giles there. 5 seconds remaining in the power play. Troy Murray to the corner. Stars staying inside. That's the end of the power play. Stars full strength. Brown with a drive. Screen. Hit the goal post. Whoa, and Neil Broughton gets it out of the zone. Big screen in front of Casey.
North Star specialty team doing a great job of killing off these penalties. They have killed off 6 penalties.
Man, oh man. Power play and special teams will kill you or cure you in the playoffs. Now Madonna unloads a big drive. Off the right boards in the Chicago zone. Gets on Duchesne, picked it up and fired. Hit the equipment of Lemieux. And Sutter comes out for Chicago. Launching one into the North Star zone. Gilbert into the stick real high on Duchesne. Here's Gilbert running it right in. Lost off Tenorti's equipment. Tenorti buries Gilbert for a while for his trouble. And Conroy picks it up for Chicago. Stars played the puck in with a high stick, and that will stop play with 3:42 to go in the second period. The score, the North Stars won, the Blackhawks Sunday night. And the Stars and the Blackhawks will be going at it, and you can be there. Those first 2 games, Sunday the 8th and Tuesday the 10th. Order your tickets. Met Center Ticket Office. You can call all Ticketmaster locations. They just closed for the night. You can call first thing in the morning. 989-5151. 989-5151. That's area 612 if you're outside the area code. And the Stars, the 8th and the 10th. Stanley Cup playoff action at Met Center. Free parking for the playoffs at Met Center. Tailgating is encouraged. So it could be a great, great night. Hope to see you at the Met on Sunday night. Stars and Hawks will go at it again here Friday night. We'll have the broadcast for you starting at 7 o'clock. 3:37 to go in the second period. 1-0 Stars lead still. Manson back in his own zone for Chicago. Gagne couldn't shoot, and it comes out to neutral. Mark Tenorti for the North Stars. Here's Gagne, lost that one off his stick. Played back now for Larry Murphy. Bellows centering. Aaron Brock got turned and couldn't get to it, and the Hawks will clear it back out again. Now Roenick racing down after it. Cut off at the pass by Murphy, who got nailed by Creighton. But the puck comes free to Dave Gagne. Possible 3-on-2 for the Stars. Gagne drops it. Bellows shoots it. And Millen saves it. Aaron Broughton in the right corner. Blasted by Thomas to the deck. Almost an elbowing there. Now back down they come into the North Stars zone. And the Stars Chambers launches it ahead. Basil McRae caught the puck there, but that came too far through neutral. And now McRae and Brown having a few moments together.
Both those players wearing the C, as Basil has got the C on for the North Stars right now. He and, of course, Kurt Giles and Stuart Gavin sharing those responsibilities on the year. The Chicago Blackhawk captain, former North Star Dirk Graham, not playing in this game, and so Keith Brown is wearing the C. Graham out with a bruised kneecap, and he has missed the last few games, so we're not quite sure when he will be back.
Coming up in the second intermission tonight, it'll be Channel 9 Primetime News with Rod Grabs and Heather Hart, so stay tuned. 2:41 to go in the second period. 1-0 North Stars. Here's Chicago's Doug Wilson behind the net. Watched by McRae. Brown plays it ahead now for the Blackhawks, and Chicago comes out. Skies it to the corner. Shot by Duchesne. Puck rolling and loose. Manson keeps it alive for the Hawks. It's on Duchesne there. Duchesne, number 10 for the North Stars, carries it to center. That's McRae on the near side. Duchesne in a collision with Manson, who went down hard. Now McRae throws a check. Delayed penalty is coming on the North Stars. Larmer comes back out of his own zone. Pounding puck, delayed penalty on the Stars. Millen is on the bench, and now finally the whistle will be blown. Elbowing penalty is going to go, I think, on Duchesne.
I can't believe that penalty call. Secor takes a run and tries to hit him.
That couldn't be it.
I think it is.
I thought they were going to get Duchesne, but he didn't.
I think he's going to call Duchesne for elbowing. We'll try and pick it up. Maybe there was an elbow we didn't see, but right here, well, the elbow did come up. You can't say it didn't. And so the North Stars will be shorthanded once again.
And Manson using some good Old-fashioned sense there, too. One of the Chicago tough guys. You know that his proclivity would be to take a pop at Duchesne. But he withheld because he knew his team was going to have a power play. It's the 11th minor penalty on the North Stars for 30 minutes tonight as Gaetan Duchesne gets the gate for elbowing at 17:58 of the second period.
Well, the specialty teams with 10 power play goals so far, just 4 by the North Stars, 6 by the Blackhawks, have resulted in the only goal of the game, that by Minnesota, back at 9:57 of the first period when Brian Bellows scored his 56th goal of the year. His first in the playoffs to give the North Stars that lead. 18 shots by the Blackhawks, including 11 in this period. 14 shots by the North Stars, including just 4.
Now the 7th power play of the night for Chicago coming up. 0 for 6 so far. North Stars 1, Blackhawks nothing. 2:02 to go in the second period. Neil Broughton, Gavin, Chambers, and Tenorti to kill it off. Here's Keith Brown for Chicago. Chopped away. Chambers launches it free. The North Stars have scored 14 shorthanded goals this year. That is 4th best in the National Hockey League. Now Savard carries the puck out on the power play for the Hawks. 1:35 in the power play, only 2 seconds more in the period. Savard runs it in, didn't get a shot. Shot by Thomas, and Neil Broughton will whistle at the length of the ice.
Great play by Mark Tenorti as Savard had the puck trying to come on the outside. Tenorti was able to dive at him and just knock the puck off of his stick.
You know, Tenorti's been a good, solid hockey player, but it really seems like he has come into his own here in the last few weeks of the regular season, now in the playoffs. He's playing very confident hockey.
The one thing, when you play more, when the coach gives you more ice time, you play better, you play with much more confidence, and that's what he's doing.
Definite correlation, and he's had plenty of it. Now Bellows trying to break up a shot, didn't get in. Thomas, big screen save by Casey. It might have caught the post. Last minute of the period. And a penalty coming now on the big crunch along the boards.
This time it's going to be Chicago.
It's going to be on Chicago. I didn't know if I didn't hear the whistle or what, but play continues. This will be a penalty on Chicago. Bellows tosses this one in neutral, and as Chicago player touches it, the whistle will blow.
Now we got lots of elbowing penalties being called tonight. That also is an elbowing call, and that's going against
Adam Creighton, I think.
Creighton?
Yep.
Blackhawk penalty number 22.
Adam Creighton now will go for elbowing at 19:18 of the second period. So that wipes out the last 40 seconds of the Hawk power play.
Pick it up right here as you see the elbow come up right there as Tenorti. He and Tenorti squaring off, and Tenorti trying to handle the puck. The best thing to do, forget the player, go back to the puck, and that's exactly what he did. And now that will even things up, and both teams without additional penalties will be one man short for the remainder of this period. 42 seconds to go. The North Stars in the lead, 1-0.
And I'm sure Gaetan Duchesne with a big sigh of relief sitting down in the penalty box. Duchesne really gets involved in some games. We thought he might have been speared here on Sunday night. I asked him about it afterwards in a big conflagration. He said, I don't know. I was so mad I don't remember. He was really getting into it. He didn't even remember if he'd been speared or not. So apparently he wasn't. Or if he was, he didn't know it. Each team a man short now for half a minute. 32 seconds left in the second period. 1-0 North Stars. Hawks get it to center, but there's Larry Murphy from Minnesota. Kurt Giles, DeLeon, and Gagne are the forwards. Stars will get a man back with 2 seconds left in the period. Now here's Gagne. Over the line. DeLeon, backhand shot, saved by Millen, and help from Yanni. Here's Larmer in the right corner. Ahead for Conroy off the skate. 5 seconds in the period. Now DeLeon. Stars get a man back. 2 seconds. DeLeon behind the net. Will not get anything off as time expires just as he snaps the long centering puck up. When we come back for period number 3, the North Stars will still have 1:18 seconds left to go on their power play as the elbowing penalty to Chicago's Adam Creighton continues to tick off. Dennis Savard has created and had some excellent chances tonight. He scored his 1,000th career point against the St. Louis Blues back on March 11th, becoming only the 26th player in the history of the National Hockey League to do that. Shaved off his mustache last year and continues to be one of the offensive leaders of this club, coming in with 27 goals and 53 assists for 80 points, along with 10 power play goals and 2 shorthanded, so he can go both ways for the Blackhawks. So the Stars will be on the power play now for another minute 18 seconds, and as good as their penalty kill unit has been, their power play unit has clicked once tonight as well. That was Brian Bellows' goal at 9:57 of the first period for Mike Modano, and that's the extent of it for the scoring so far in the game. Well, another goal by the Stars there early in the third period would really be an enormous goal. We're underway with the third. Stars on the power play now. Puck is loose in the North Star zone, though, and here's Greg Gilbert for Chicago, cutting to the side of the net, but no. John Casey has had himself a game. 19 saves on 19 shots, a low shooting game. Here's Larry Murphy now for the Stars, fighting over the line. Rattles it around the boards, up the left side, Neil Broughton there, power play. Broughton working the points with Larry Murphy, of course. Here's Brown to crank it for Chicago, that sailed over the top of the rail and all the way out of the zone. Mike Modano now. Turned back on an offside pass for Chicago with 40 seconds remaining in Adam Creighton's elbowing penalty here early in the third period.
Well, Mike Modano out there in the power play right now for the North Stars. North Stars need to be a little bit more aggressive on this power play. They seem to be a little bit slow, and as a result, Chicago trying to put on those bursts of speeds and able to take the players out of the action and finally creating an offside call for themselves. But Mike Modano setting up the assist, or setting up the goal by Brian Bellows in that first period. A nice passing play, but right now that's behind them. What they're thinking of right now is the fact that they've got 19 minutes and 22 seconds to keep the Blackhawks off the board. But that fellow right there, Mike Keenan, the coach of the Blackhawks, has got other ideas as he's trying to get his team to, first of all, kill off this penalty and then go from there.
1-0. The North Stars lead is held up. Here's Wilkinson now ahead for Sean Chambers for Minnesota. 33 seconds on the power play, but Yanni will bat it all the way back down. Wilkinson starts out now for Minnesota. Hooked off it by Savard. Chambers guns one to the right corner of the Chicago zone. The Hawks will get it to the line. Kept in by Neil Wilkinson. Ulf DeLeon is there. DeLeon, number 22 for the North Stars. Kicks it up high for Wilkinson. Flipped for a tip by Gagne. It didn't go. And here's Steve Larmer now for Chicago, and he gets it out of the zone.
That was a perfect shot by Wilkinson from the point. It wasn't hard, but it was right on the money. A good shot for the forwards to be able to get a piece of it and tip it in.
Now the power play expires. The Blackhawks are at full strength. They fire the puck to the Stars zone. Should be icing here as Giles touches the puck. And it is icing on Chicago. We've played a minute 26, in part by the new AT&T Universal Card. One world, one card. 18:34 to go. It is 1-0 Minnesota. Face-off coming in the Chicago zone to the left of Greg Miller. They knock it around. No clear control. Goulet lost it to Sherlin. Sherlin jamming it out of the corner boards, but a little whack at it by Millen knocked it free and away from Basil McRae. At neutral now, shoveled ahead by Tenorti. Here's Larry Murphy for the Stars, angles it over. Basil McRae moving right in, checked by Wilson. Penalty coming on Chicago. As they grind along the end boards now, referee Terry Gregson will blow the whistle.
Well, Basil McRae breaking in on the net, and it was Doug Wilson coming back. Wilson looked like he got him pretty good, but McRae also made it look good. But nonetheless, it's the power play unit coming back on the ice for the North Stars as the assistant captain and All-Stars 6 times of Chicago is called for hooking right here. And so the North Stars, who just had the power play, get another opportunity as that penalty is being called at 1 minute and 55 seconds of the third period.
This will be the 7th power play unofficially for the North Stars now. 10 penalties for 20 minutes in the Hawks. Stars have 11 for 30, including the 10-minute misconduct in the early second period to Shane Sherlin. So yet again, Mike Keenan has to throw out his penalty kill crew. And the North Stars will saddle up the power play once again. Mike Modano centering Ulf DeLeon and Brian Bellows with Neil Broughton and Murphy on the points. To the left of the goal as Miller looks at it. Coming up on the 2-minute mark of the third, 1-0 North Stars lead. That cranks off the glass and is retrieved at neutral ice now by Larry Murphy. Here's Brian Bellows for the North Stars, wheeling through neutral. Stars on the power play again. That took a crazy bounce off the boards. Modano chops it. Here's DeLeon behind the net. Checked by Conroy. From the corner, Bellows centered, but right onto the stick of Troy Murray. And the Hawks will zing it end to end. John Casey directing traffic as Larry Murphy plays the puck. Under 90 seconds to go on the power play. Murphy, Neal Broughton, Madonna, quick passes, back over, left wing. Here comes Bellows. Flings it up high. Larry Murphy retrieves one-handed, angles it, left circle to Bellows. Neal Broughton is there, shoots one, tip to Leon, no. Rebound to Leon, no. Two big saves at point-blank range on Ulf DeLeon by Hawks goalie Greg Miller. Here's Larmer, back now for Chicago, shooting high and wide. Savard glides after it. Bellows picks up the puck for the North Stars and flips it. That whoops, popped right up over the glass by Mike Modano. That didn't pan out, and the faceoff will come back in the Chicago zone. And two close, tough saves by Millen.
Well, DeLeon with two good opportunities to score in that net minor right there. Greg Millen, as you watch it from the end zone camera here, you see the play back to Neal Broughton. Neal Broughton, not a hard shot, but see, he puts it by the defender there. DeLeon makes a one deflection on, gets a rebound back, but he has no room to move. A nice quick little snapshot by Neal Broughton coming right to the big winger for the North Stars.
57 seconds remaining in the North Star man advantage. 17:02 to go in the third period. It is Minnesota 1 and Chicago nothing. These teams have not met in the playoffs for 5 years. Although, as we mentioned at the top of our telecast, they have surely had some major confrontations in the playoffs. Over the years, we will remember some great individual duels. Down goes Don Barber. Gagne check, puck to the point. Wilkinson down to the right circle. Gagne poked it as he fell, fencing as he turns, and it's ripped away finally by Chicago's Troy Murray. 35 seconds left in the Minnesota power play. Gagne with a check on Murray, but Murray just taps it back in the Stars zone.
Good play by Gagne. Took the man. Otherwise, Murray was just trying to sidestep him, but Gagne went right into the man to force him to give up the puck.
Neil Wilkinson now slices one over, but the Stars are offside as Chambers picked up the puck. Now 20 seconds left in the power play.
That's going to bring the faceoff back into the Minnesota zone as the linesman Bob Hodges called it as an intentional offside. If you know it's going to be offside, you touch the puck, they'll bring the faceoff back to your own zone, and that's what's happened right now.
Sean Chambers has 26 points in the season so far, most of them on assists, 8 goals and 18 assists. He is the number 2 scoring defenseman now for the North Stars, and a very solid customer as he's developed into. Also has one of the North Stars' 14 shorthanded goals scored on the season. 16:25 to go. 1-0 Minnesota. Madonna now on with DeLeon and Bellows is the North Star forward line. Neal Broughton and Murphy on the points. Madonna for the draw against Adam Creighton in the Stars zone. No clear control. Creighton trying to tap it away. Larry Murphy pulls it clear for a moment. Now Murphy behind the net. Neal Broughton there for Minnesota. Broughton comes out with 5 seconds on the North Star power play. Murphy over the line. DeLeon loose in the slot. The puck goes high and wide. That's the end of the power play. And Chicago is now back at full strength. Madonna to the point. Whacked in by Tenorti. That hit traffic. It is loose. Now pulled clear by Goulet. They come to center. Goulet and Bellows locked up. Puck meanders to the North Star zone. Tenorti's there. Here's Larry Murphy for the North Stars, and they come back out again. Little popper right down on to Greg Millen. He looked up and saw Ulf DeLeon steaming in, and that is the end of that. 15:44 to 2-1. Both of the goals scored by Al McInnes of the Calgary Flames, and one of the goals was a penalty shot scored at 16:52, the first ever penalty shot in Flames history. Really?
Yep.
That's amazing.
Penalty shot goal, I should say, in Flames history.
That's amazing. The first ever penalty shot goal. Not a new franchise by any means. Don't imagine they got a lot of opportunities in Atlanta, however. Puck flipped up over the glass and out of the way.
Well, Chambers, there's no place to go, was trying to play it off the glass and out, but he got it just a little bit too high, and face-off will come just on the North Star side of the red line as you look at number 6 out of Czechoslovakia, František Musil, who's in his 4th year with the North Stars.
Good, tough customer. As we mentioned, he sat out a couple of games late in the season after blocking a shot with his foot. A hard shot, and it was a little bit painful. He was limping a little bit. He's all taped up and ready to go tonight. Poked by Savard. Loose puck in the Chicago zone, and the Hawks come out. Here's Steve Larmer. Big crank. It hit the equipment of Chambers, though, and Gavin will tip it away. Now Dennis Savard wheeling back in for Chicago. Savard on the right side. Savard still holding. Wheeling in. Whipping it through the lip of the goal crease. Larmer was locked up by Chambers and taken out. Musil breaks up a shot. Now Gagne turns it away, and we're going to have a North Star penalty.
Oh boy, the action was hot and heavy right in front of the North Star goal. As Savard always dangerous with that. We've got a penalty call going against Minnesota.
And a Blackhawk power play when we fellow employees and get a group together to see the North Stars and Blackhawks in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Great way to spend an action-packed evening as you enjoy all the thrills of playoff hockey at Met Center. Call the North Stars Group Sales Office, 853-9420, to make your group reservations for the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Well, the penalty is going against Minnesota. It's Aaron Broughton that's gone to the penalty box. A tripping call at 4:57. The Blackhawks 0 for 7 tonight in the power play. Get opportunity number 8.
Adam Creighton for the draw against Neil Broughton. You saw him actually butt heads there as the helmets came together. Right in front of the net, a crossbar shot and a goal by Dennis Savard. His 11th power play goal of the year and his 28th goal ties it up 4 seconds into the Blackhawks' 8th power play of the night. Now it's a 1-1 game, a tick shy of 5 minutes into the third period.
Well, we talk about specialty teams, and that was the specialty teams for the Blackhawks able to finally connect. And from the face-off, the North Stars lost the draw. It almost looked like the linesman was right in the middle of things there, and the defender couldn't get around. Neil Broughton couldn't get around him to check the shot coming from the point. But look at Dennis Savard there, right in that top corner. The puck was bouncing. All you do is you take the shot and see what transpires. And for the Blackhawks, Dennis Savard able to put the puck into the net. He sat out the last game, but he now has 47 career playoff goals, which is the most for the Blackhawks, but that coming at 5:01.
I mentioned a few minutes ago the outstanding opportunities he's had, and he's had great play after great play. Now Pierre Paget is going to use his timeout with 14:59 to go in the third. That really brings the crowd roaring. Timeout, Minnesota.
And of course, you try to take those opportunities when the crowd is really behind the team, and you're the visitor, you want to slow things down a little bit, and that's what Pierre is trying to do.
Dennis Savard, an old pro, playing the North Stars. As I mentioned, 1,000th career point against St. Louis. He's happy at that one. That gets the Hawks in the game, and they had to have been feeling a little snake bit for a while. But even the old pros get cranked up at playoff time.
Savard missed 17 games with a very serious broken finger this season. Chicago's #1 draft choice back in 1980 in his 10th year with over 1,000 points in that time.
Brown and Creighton will get the assist. Keith Brown and Adam Creighton picking up the assists on Dennis Savard's power play goal at 5:01 of the third period to tie the game for the Blackhawks. Time in now, and the Stars win the draw. Sean Chambers. That was carried over the line by Thomas and offside, although you couldn't hear the whistle with the crowd going crazy. This crowd has been waiting for something to explode here, and it's still going. Gavin, Gagne, and Aaron Broughton on for the North Stars. Musil and Chambers on defense.
Well, Casey had no chance on that goal. Savard was left pretty well untouched in front of the net as Chambers was moving back into position but wasn't able to get there in time to get a piece of him.
And what a great night the Stars have had killing penalties here. The Hawks getting 8 opportunities and finally clicking on number 8. Now here's Sean Chambers for the North Stars in his own zone. A 1-1 game, and we're off to the races. Here's Aaron Broughton, unloads, blasted it right into the back checker, Keith Brown, now in for Gagne. Bounced off Wilson, shoots to the glove side. Millen turns it away behind the cage. Stars changing lines. Hawks coming to center. Here's Creighton floating over the line. Backhander. Tipped away to the right side by Casey. Creighton got it right back. Backhand stuff shot saved by Casey off the pad. Loose behind the net. Creighton got it again. Now decked as Broughton turned in on it. And Neil Broughton pulls it away. Broughton at center. Floats over the line. Dropped to Bellows. Shoots. He scores! Brian Bellows gets his second goal of the game and 57th goal of the year, and the North Stars climb right back into the lead again. It's Minnesota 2 and Chicago 1.
Good play by Neil Broughton back in his own zone. He was able to take Creighton out of the play after Creighton had circled the net with a puck. He came up with a puck, carried him, tried to put himself in the center position of the ice, which he did, drop the puck back. Now look how the defender goes with him. And there's Brian Bellows right in between, and he uses the defenseman as a screen as well, and he beats goaltender Greg Millen on the glove side, nice and low, and you'll see the angle from this side as Manson's standing right in front of him. But Brian Bellows, as Doug mentioned, 2 goals on the night, 57 on the year, and the North Stars have the lead once again.
And what a big goal that is, coming just 53 seconds after Dennis Savard tied the game on a power play goal. Brian Bellows at 5:54 of the third. Stars 2-1. Now Savard checked by Chambers, and the puck is alive in the Chicago zone.
Now what we've got here, Doug, is probably a momentum shift on the North Stars. They realize they're just 13 and a half minutes away from winning that game. They have to win here.
Now Thomas moves right in. Shot save, Casey. And the rebound to Ryan Larmer couldn't go. Puck in the right corner boards. Here's Dennis Savard. They bang one behind the net. Thomas trying to get in. Chambers is on him step for step. Savard in the deck. Steve Thomas centers right to the blade of Dave Gagne.
Look how deep Gagne was coming back in there to help out.
Gagne crossing, leaving it for Aaron Broughton, shooting right on, save by Millen. Threw the puck to the line, and whoa, and Wilkinson thought he had it in, but no. Wow, 13:16 to go. Now 2-1. The North Stars back in the saddle again. Brian Bellows at 5:54 with the assist to Neil Broughton.
John Casey coming up big for the North Stars again, and talking before the game, and even with John Ashley, one of the supervisors officials, when we talk about playoffs, the most important thing is your goaltending. And look at right here, as the North Stars have had just excellent goaltending on the part of John Casey tonight. Thomas coming in there, he eluded a check from Musil, got the shot away, but John Casey coming up big, and Chicago pressing, but to no avail as the netminder out of Grand Rapids, Minnesota, able to put it away.
Now 13:15 to go. Here's Ulf DeLeon for the North Stars. They lead 2-1. They've been outshot 24-19 so far. DeLeon stapled to the glass by Dave Manson of Chicago. DeLeon down, had it for a moment in his hand, and then finally it's tapped underneath him, and the whistle blown by referee Terry Gregson.
DeLeon great along the boards. You know, J.P. Parisia was a player who could play so well along the board. He just positions his body and gets that balance in there and able to control things, and that's how DeLeon plays along those boards, except he's got a little bit more of a reach. But Manson trying to take him out of the play, not able to do so. A lot of boo birds here for Dave Manson, as they don't appreciate his play this year. He's had a tough year. Last year he played in the All-Star game, but this year he didn't quite make it, and he's had some problems, and all he wants to do is get the seasons behind me now. What happens in the playoffs is what people will remember, and he's trying to increase his play with the Blackhawks.
Boy, and when you get a go-ahead goal 53 seconds after the home team ties it, even a great big crowd gets silenced in a great big hurry. That's what's happened here at Chicago Stadium, despite that big-time goal by that man, number 18, Dennis Savard. Madonna wins the draw in the Chicago zone. Giles shoots one right on the save by Millen. Duchesne hustles after it. He bumps with Yanni in the corner. Savard digs it away, and the Hawks come out. Dennis Savard flying over the line, taps it down to the corner for Steve Thomas, poked away by Casey. Mike Madonna for the Stars. That sails out of play, and it'll face off in the North Stars zone with 12:34 to go. It's the North Stars 2 and the Blackhawks 1.
In this period, both teams have scored a goal as the North Stars, with Brian Bellows getting his second of the game, have taken the lead after Denny Savard scored at 5:01, and North Stars still have that all-important lead in this game with 12:34 to go in the third period.
Brian Bellows, boy, what a season he's having. What an amazing season. And picked it up even more, it seemed like, when Mike Gartner was traded. He realized that he had to come up with some of those big points. He's had a great year. Here's Chambers now for the North Stars. Ahead for Gagne. Lost in his skates, accidentally kicked it finally to Wilson. Now Larmer. Out 2-on-1 against Musil. Center, and a poke check by Casey knocked it awry. Gagne got it clear and out to center, but Wilson turns it back. Steve Larmer, right circle, shot behind the net. Thomas trying to swing one in, but Brian Bellows is there, and he backhands one out of the zone. go for icing here, but Aaron Broughton got there first. Aaron Broughton was really hauling it through neutral ice, so there's no icing. Puck stays alive in the Blackhawk zone, but the Stars needed a line change. So here's Trent Yawney to play it out. Right to the blade of Don Barber. Here comes Barber for the North Stars. Wheeling out of the corner. Murphy with a blast, and that hit the pipe, and the net was already knocked off the standard. No North Star in the immediate vicinity, but Yawney and the goalie, Greg Millen, were there.
Well, Neil Broughton was there as well. I think as Neil went into the defenseman Yawney, they both came together to try and pick it up, watch in front of the net, watch at the bottom of your screen. But the North Stars making a good play here as Barber makes the pass back, but you can see also the net was already off of its magnet. It looked like Neil Broughton had turned in behind already, and that had knocked the net off of its magnet and created the stoppage of play. Look at Larry Murphy, a veteran defenseman, of course, in the National Hockey League. 7th in NHL scoring this season with 68 points. 7 times in his career he has scored 60 or more points.
11:38 to go. It is 2-1. And Greg Millen, who beat the Stars 4-1 last Sunday night, 22 saves. And one against, which was actually shot into his own net by one of his own players. That's how the night was going for the North Stars. Beautiful shot, too. Credited to the only guy who was around it, and that was McRae. 2-1 North Stars. Puck loose in the Chicago zone. The Blackhawks come off with it, and there's Steve Conroy. Bounding puck to neutral, retrieved by Neil Broughton, now for Tenorti. Tipped over the line by Barber. Stars changing their forward line. Dave Manson wheels back out now for the Chicago Blackhawks. Manson flips it down to the corner boards. Stopped there by Casey. Secord could not play it. Now Conroy at the point. Fires one off the end boards. Here's Secord digging away, wrapped up with Tenorti. And finally the whistle will be blown by referee Terry Gregson as Al Secord, who split last season between Toronto and Philadelphia and was brought back home to the Blackhawks in August when he was signed as a free agent, was digging around down there trying to make something happen.
Well, the St. Louis Blues have now taken a 3-1 lead over the Toronto Maple Leafs in St. Louis. Of course, that's a division that North Stars and Blackhawks are involved in. The Norris division will be watching those games as well, but their most important task at hand right now is every shift. This series, you can't worry about the next series until you get by this series, and both these teams very cognizant of the fact that they have to watch every shift that they're on the ice.
Interesting to see how the new playoff format of the first round affects teams this year. Gone is the back-to-back day and next day series. There's a day off now as the Stars turn the puck out of the zone and Aaron Broughton plays it away. No more of the 3 games in 4 days set up. That used to be a real cruncher to start the playoffs after you'd already played 80 games. Now there's a day off after every game. Murray tried to get around Wilkinson and then hit the deck. Now Jocelyn Lemieux centers. Gilbert shoots, missed the mark, and Duchesne pokes it away. Basil McRae, checked by Brown, got the puck out to center. Here now is Greg Gilbert for the Hawks. He zings it in. Casey puts the brakes on it. Wilkinson peels it away. 2-1 North Stars halfway through the third. And Shane Shirley will pull it away for Minnesota. Ahead now for Basil McRae. Locked up on the end boards. Shirley bumping with Dave Manson down there. Now they come back out. Here is Creighton. They'll be offside as they come back in. 10:01 to go. It's the North Stars 2 and the Blackhawks 1 in Chicago.
Third year as a pro out of Red Deer, Alberta. 6'4", 205 pounds, and just 23 years of age. And that's the one area the North Stars have got to improve, obviously, is the experience on the defense. They've got some young kids back there, but kids who have really played well and come on strong for the North Stars, especially in the last month.
Neil Broughton against Savard, and Broughton wins the draw. Here's Larry Murphy now to the checkered line for Bellows. And skims down onto Greg Millen. Somebody hit Manson behind the play and his helmet went flying. Didn't see who it was. Conroy whistles it in now for Chicago. Larmer belted by Musil. They lock it up again in a wrestling match. Now Stuart Gavin comes out for the North Stars. Gavin, number 12, plays it back in. Manson with no stick just threw the puck to the corner. Gavin got a piece of it. Aaron Broughton to the slot. Conroy there for Chicago. Now Manson and Aaron Broughton are mixing it up back there, and that'll stop play.
Well, Manson going after Aaron Broughton. He had his helmet knocked off previously, and now we've got penalties being called by the referee, Terry Gregson, as Manson is trying to go back for his helmet to pick that up on his way to the penalty box. We have penalties coming at 10 minutes and 35 seconds.
Manson had already lost his helmet about a minute ahead of time.
Here, but he just grabs onto the stick right there. Aaron Broughton, of course, go down. You see the sticks come up once again as he takes that extra shot, and Aaron Broughton just standing his ground. And in the playoffs, you got to do that. And finally, the referee's telling the players, go to the box, and here they are.
Aaron Broughton has his second straight penalty. Coincidental roughing minors to Manson and Aaron Broughton at 10:35 of the third period. 11 penalties, 22 minutes on Chicago. 13 penalties for 34 unofficially on the North Stars. John Casey is having himself a game tonight. He came in this game tied for the NHL lead in wins with 31. 8-2 in his last 10 starts. 25 saves on 26 shots in this game. Hardly a routine one in the bunch, if there is ever such a one. Now 9:17 to play. The North Stars lead 2-1 in game one of the best of 7 Norris Division semis. A blast now on from Thomas. That's sticked off Casey, and he just leans on the crossbar for the moment.
John Casey once again making that save. Thomas has had a couple of good saves. The first one, remember, back in the second period when he came over the blue line, let it go, and right here coming over the blue line once again, and goaltenders get a read on different players and what they're going to do and when they're going to shoot. And Thomas, as Doug mentioned, 40 goals on the season, trying to get the Blackhawks back into a tie situation here, just inside, using the defenseman as a screen, but John Casey able to make that save. Thomas out of Stockport, England, was born there. And on the season with 13 power play goals, including 7 game-winning goals.
40 goals, his first 40-goal season. 9:09 to go, 2-1 North Stars. Neil Broughton against Adam Creighton, who's having a career-high year in goals, assists, and points. 34, 36, and 70, respectively. Neil Broughton now at center, driving down the right boards under Conroy. Trent Yoni for the Hawks behind the net in his own zone. Now carries the puck out to center. Yoni goes down as he felt that little tip from Barber, but referee Terry Gregson is not buying that. Now Thomas. Barber has no stick. Thomas turned to shoot, couldn't do so. And now Neil Broughton slammed into the crossbar, into the corner bar by Dwayne Sutter, who's been asking for it all night.
And that was well after the whistle, and that's why Broughton was upset.
Sutter would be delighted to take Neil Broughton off, of course. The North Star bench. And Sutter goes to the penalty box with 8:38 to go. Get a roughing penalty, and so will Dwayne Sutter. I'm sorry, Dwayne Sutter will get the penalty alone at 11:20. I got so many penalties on here, I can't even keep them.
Watch the play right here. Now the net is being moved already. Now stoppage of play. Now watch right here. The whistle's already gone, and you can see Sutter just driving into the net. Neil Broughton going to have a few words.
I've got so many penalties between these two teams. Anyway, it is a power play now for the North Stars. This is their 8th, as Sutter goes for roughing at 11:22. It is the 3rd penalty for Chicago in this period. They had 3 in the second period and 6 in the first. 2-1 North Stars, 8.5 to go. Oh, what a power play goal would do here. Here's Larry Murphy now for the North Stars, coming to center. Skips it down to the corner. Neil Broughton with a blast right through the crease. Wouldn't it be divine justice if he's the one who got it? Murphy now. Neil Broughton. Here's Dave Gagne. 3 up high. Drive. Save off the blocker by Millen. Off the skate of Gagne. Barber wheels. Shoots. And a save by Millen. And that will stop the play.
Good play by Don Barber getting that shot away. He took a look, but also an equally good play back at the blue line. As you'll watch what happens here. The shot is taken first of all by the point. You'll watch right here now as Gagne comes in, takes a shot, then makes a play with his stick right onto Barber, with his skate I should say, to Barber, who lets the shot go, but right into the midsection of the goaltender Greg Millen, who's able to hold it. And a big play by the goaltender at the other end now.
Well, Don Barber creating some chances. 34 points now, including 10 multiple-point games for this team since he came up last from Kalamazoo in December and has really worked his way into a regular spot and quite a bit of playing time. 1:26 left on the North Stars power play. 8:04 to go in the game. North Stars 2 and the Blackhawks 1. Allen serves it up behind the net, played to the point. Larry Murphy for the Stars. Forward pass. Here's Gagne. Wheeling deep. Now Barber shoots off the side of the net. Brian Bellows, who has 2, jumps into the corner. Now Neil Broughton for Minnesota. Murphy, Gagne, guns it. Bellows, chip shot, and it just scampers awry. Out of the corner, Gagne. Don Barber for Minnesota. Walked it in. Hooked away by Conroy. Tipped by Gagne. Now Barber floats behind the net. Shovels it away for Bellows. Left point to Neil Broughton. 53 seconds in the North Star power play. 7.5 in the game. Stars lead 2-1. Broughton for Bellows. Brink wide. Larry Murphy open for a moment, but then Conroy hit the deck and broke it up. Back to Larry Murphy again. Seidel's left. Big blast right on. Barber poked it. Gagne, a shot and a save by Miller. Loose puck in the left circle. Poke free. Neil Broughton retrieves. Murphy now for the North Stars. Runs it in. Tipped away by Conroy. 25 seconds left in the Stars. Man advantage. Murphy kicks it up. Barber shoots one and whistled way wide and sails out of the zone. Now Casey swings it ahead. Shot back in by Wilson, but here comes Chambers. That was met by Larmer and broke it up. Now running right in, Savard. Center save. Casey rebound by Savard. It did not go in. Nearly a shorthanded goal. Now the Stars power play expires. Blackhawks full strength. Ulf Dillian for Minnesota. And a rough moment for the Stars. Now Chambers. Chops into the corner. Here comes Basil McRae. He and Wilson bunt. Ulf Dillian behind the net, tried to stuff it. He was checked out of the way. McRae shoots and a save by Miller. Kicked up high by Mike McDonough. Wilkinson shoots, screen, tip, save. And it comes up into the deep slot to Al Secord. Hawks come to neutral, but Secord fanned on it. Mike McDonough back down now for the North Stars, and he plays it back in. 6 minutes to go. Stars in the saddle, 2-1. Here come the Blackhawks to center. Flipped in deep by Secord. Right side. A blast by Roenick. Just missed. Conroy keeps it alive. Collision in front of the net now. Tenorti and Creighton exchanging the time of day. And referee Terry Gregson blew the whistle, and the penalty may be on Casey.
Well, Creighton always able to get in that crease area, trying to create some havoc right now. And now the captain of the North Star, Stuart Gavin, talking to the referee. I think he is going to call Casey. We'll try and pick up right here. Here's a little shot by that glove, and that's not what they need right now. But nonetheless, it looks like he will get a penalty as Manson and Aaron Broughton come back onto the ice in the penalty box area after serving their roughing penalties. And number 30, John Casey, has been signaled as the one getting the penalty. Probably a roughing call, I would think.
I would imagine so. Now the Stars need a hot body to sit in the penalty box.
14-10 the time of the penalty. Here it is.
John Casey, 2 minutes for roughing.
What a great play by John Casey. There's Larmer standing on the doorstep. Couldn't handle it.
2 minutes for roughing.
Now the Blackhawks have the man advantage once again. They're 1 for 8 on the power play. This will be number 9.
They scored the last time out as Savard tied it, but the North Stars got the go-ahead goal from Bellows, his second of the night, 53 seconds later. Now, John Casey for roughing at 14-10. Shane Churla will go to serve the penalty for the North Stars. 2-1 North Stars. 5:50 to go. Stu Gavin and Savard are yapping away with referee Terry Gregson for the moment. He waves them off. Little explanation of something to Gavin. Face-off coming in the North Stars zone. Gavin and Neil Broughton, Chambers and Tenorti to kill it off for the Stars. Creighton, Larmer, Savard, Brown, and Wilson, the power play unit for Chicago. 2-1 Stars. Power play begins, or will it? Somebody jumped too soon. Do it again. Well, it took the second off the penalty. As Dennis Savard, who scored his 11th power play goal and 28th goal of the year off the crossbar last time out, works on the left wing. Chambers on in for the faceoff. Hawks win the draw. Doug Wilson down the left wing, poked by Chambers. Will it get out of the zone? No. Flung in deep by Savard. Larmer chops at it. That sails up and out of play, but the faceoff will come in the North Star zone. Creighton yapping at Chambers, who took a little pop at him.
Well, Creighton trying to put himself in that front of that net once again, as Steve Larmer, the leading scorer for the Blackhawks this season, is trying to make things happen also from that right wing position. 90 points on the year, plus 25 for the Blackhawks.
Amazing plus minus. 5:39 to go. 1:49 left in the Hawk power play. It was a set play off the faceoff, and it misfired. Now Stuart Gavin shorthanded for the Stars. Gavin down on the end board. Checked by Wilson behind the Blackhawks net. Creighton wheels in and peels it away, and the Hawks come back on the power play. Gavin chops it back and actually hit Chicago's Doug Wilson. Now Wilson over the line. Savard head deep shot. It hits Tenorti. To the point now. Brown tries to keep it in and throws the puck out. 5:08 to go. 1:17 in the power play. Now shorthanded. Sean Chambers. And good night. Sailed way up under the big Barton Organ. And a souvenir for somebody.
Well, Doug Wilson, the all-star defenseman, one of the few helmetless players now playing in the National Hockey League. He and Al Secord, the only two members of the Blackhawks, and the only two members on the ice tonight without helmets.
I believe the only team left with 2 players on it. Only about 8 players still in the league without helmets. 1:12 to go in the penalty to John Casey. And possibly a timeout now taken by Mike Keenan. I don't know. Everybody's gone to the benches. 1:12 to go in the penalty. And I don't know why the sudden reprieve here. There's been no announcement of a timeout being taken. Pierre Paget has taken his timeout already, so if there is a time, it has to be the Hawks. Well, anyway, hockey action at its best. Stanley Cup playoffs, and tickets for North Stars home games are on sale now at the Met Center ticket office and all Ticketmaster locations. So charge by phone first thing in the morning. Area 612-989-5151. First 2 home games Sunday and Tuesday at 7:30. Remember, free parking for the playoffs and tailgating is encouraged. Apparently it was a timeout for Chicago. 1:12 to go in the power play now for the Blackhawks.
Well, the North Stars with 10 shots on net in this period, and the Blackhawks also with 10. But the North Stars lead by 1, 2-1. They're still shorthanded as coming to John Casey being served by Shane Churla. There's 1:12 to go in that, with just 5:02 in the game.
Now the Hawks have the puck. Here's Wilson back in his own zone for Chicago. Savard, but it was broken up by Brian Bellows, who has both the North Stars goals. Duchesne cranks one in, and Greg Millen, the Hawks goalie, will have to start it back out again. Now 55 seconds in the power play. Savard camped down to the Minnesota blue line, but Wilson drives it to the deep right corner. Adam Creighton pops one behind the net. 45 seconds in the power play. Outlet by Bellows, kept in by Doug Wilson at left point. On the right side to Brown. The drive deflected by Duchesne. Gaetan Duchesne for the Stars. Buried under Larmer and Savard, but Musil blasts one all the way down onto the goalie. Millen starts it out for Wilson. 25 seconds remaining in the penalty to North Star goalie John Casey for roughing. Lemieux kicks the puck out of the corner for Chicago. Gavin broke it up. Now Steve Thomas for the Hawks. Down is Chambers, flailing around after it. Broke that one up. Lemieux, Savard to the point to Manson. Dennis Savard. 5 seconds. The Stars will be at full strength. Savard shot, tip, screen, and it goes wide. And Lemieux leveled by Tenorti. That's the end of the power play. North Stars full strength as Churla, who was serving the penalty, hustles out of the box. Now the puck cleared back to the Blackhawks zone. This should be icing on the North Stars, and it is. And play stops with 3:40 to go, and the North Stars leading 2-1.
Well, once again, the North Stars coming up with a big penalty kill, as Greg Millen has been as not quite as good as Casey. Hasn't been tested, I don't think, near as much with quality shots, but he's been there when he's had to be. But John Casey has been superb. He got a penalty a few moments ago, as you saw, but the North Stars were able to kill it off, and they should. For a guy who has played as well as he has, they have to help him out as well, and they certainly did that. But the North Stars have killed off 8 of the 9 shorthanded situations they've been in. The only 2 goals by the North Stars, both by Brian Bellows. Now with 3:40 to go, this is when the intensity really picks up, and the players know they can only go maybe 30, 35 seconds at the most. Don't have to be on the ice a lot, but make sure that when you've got the puck, that you have to eat the puck if necessary. You don't give it up in your own zone.
What a difference from just Sunday night. The Stars lost 4-1, and the only goal went in shot in by a Hawk player to his own net. Stars did not play well. Paget was not happy, but oh boy, what a performance here tonight by the North Stars. I'll tell you, if this is a taste of how it's going to be, we're going to be in the playoffs quite a while. Now Lemieux, checked by Giles. Thomas for the Hawks, right in. Shot was blocked, I think, by Gagne. And the puck cleared all the way out by the Stars. There's no icing, though, and play goes on.
Manson was in a position to get the puck, but he turned the opposite way.
So they waved it off. Now 3:12 by a Hawk player to his own net. Stars did not play well. Paget was not happy. But oh boy, what a performance here tonight by the North Stars. I'll tell you, if this is a taste of how it's going to be, we're going to be in the playoffs quite a while. Now Lemieux, checked by Giles. Thomas for the Hawks, right in. Shot was blocked, I think, by Gagne. And the puck cleared all the way out by the Stars. There's no icing, though, and play goes on.
Manson was in a position to get the puck, but he turned the opposite way.
So they waved it off. Now 3:12 to go. Sutter for the Hawks. Trying to cut in. Chambers down, but that broke it up long enough for Sutter to lose control. To the point, Brown one times it tipped to right, but the whistle had already blown as the net was knocked off the standard, and you see Chicago's Troy Murray complaining that Casey's the one who did the knocking off.
There's a good example there of Chambers coming back, Sutter coming down and breaking in on him. He got to the outside, but see, Chambers doesn't have to knock him down. All he has to do is get a piece of just enough to knock it away. And he was able to do that. He stayed right on top of the player. And with that, he doesn't knock him down, but he puts himself in a position where at least he causes problems for Sutter. And Sutter trying to go in the net there. He thought he had the golden opportunity to move in, but not so, as the quick reaction by Sean Chambers able to knock the puck away from him, and John Casey standing right on the doorstep as well, just in case.
3 minutes and 4 seconds to go. John Casey standing in with the North Stars leading 2-1 in the opening game of the 1990 Stanley Cup playoffs. Neil Broughton now is on with Bellows, who's backed right into the slot with Barber and Musil. Chambers on the offside. Now Sean Chambers for the North Stars up for Barber. Snaps it off the boards. They race after it, but it'll be icing as Wilson catches up with it. The Stars taking the chance on having some of those icings waved off just to get the puck out of there and kill some time.
I don't think they were trying to get the icing in that particular play. It looked like they were trying to get the puck up high enough, but it was just a little bit too hard and too far, so they didn't get quite the loft on the puck, and so it creates the offside call. Look at the very somber bench right now for Chicago as they're behind by a goal and looking to get that all-important tying goal.
2:51 to go. It is 2-1. The North Stars lead, and Mike Keenan will keep his troops going and will keep Millen in the net for a while. Creighton, Thomas, and Sutter working for Chicago. Neil Broughton, now they pull it away. Here's Wilson. Sutter, left circle, lets one go, and the sure glove hand of John Casey snaps it down. And he'll take a little stroll. And
now once again, Creighton right in on the doorstep. They're trying to create some havoc, and he's been pushed back a couple of times. And of course, you want the players who are big and strong, and he certainly has got the size for the Blackhawks in that center ice position at 6'5", 214 pounds, and he can create some problems in front of the goaltender. He and Broughton having a few words as they went for that face-off together, and Creighton got the puck back with Chicago moving the puck, taking the shot. But watch the side there. You can also see that Neil Broughton standing right there with Creighton too, not giving him any ground. And Neil Broughton only 5'9", so he's giving up a lot of inches, 8 inches in that play. But certainly the strength of the North Star veteran was evident there as he kept Creighton from getting back into that net area.
It's been everything you wanted, a North Stars Blackhawks playoff game, and oh man, It's going to come to Met Center on Sunday night and Tuesday night. Hope to see you there. Should be some great hockey games. Both teams came out hitting, no question about that. And the Stars snap it out. Don Barber chasing the rolling puck, cutting behind the net with Yanni hanging on. Now Sutter will pick it up for the Blackhawks. Here's Thomas with 2.5 minutes to go in the game. Steve Thomas with the North Stars leading 2-1. Comes out of his zone. Trent Yanni, and they'll dump it in. Casey's ready for it behind the net. Tapped it a little bit. Now Murphy will have to play it. Here's Mark Tenorti to shovel it ahead. Neil Broughton slammed into by Thomas. Poked it in. Chance for Creighton. He was hassled by Barber and couldn't shoot it. Now we'll fling it behind the net. 2 Blackhawks back there. Thomas and Sutter. Thomas belted by Tenorti. Sutter belted by Bellows. Thomas on the puck. Tried to turn it. Checked by Tenorti. Sutter keeps it alive. Under 2 minutes to go. Thomas in the corner for Chicago. Centered but hit Bellows. Now Tenorti is there. Adam Creighton checked by Larry Murphy. Tenorti and Sutter digging away on the dasher. Murphy in there too, and finally referee Terry Gregson loses sight of the puck and will whistle the play dead with 1:43 to go, and the North Stars leading 2-1. Adam Creighton, ever dangerous, down behind the net, round the side of the net. That's where he likes to work, and he's made some things happen down there tonight.
Well, 34 goals on the year and 36 assists tells you that he can make some headway in the offensive part for the Chicago Blackhawks, but Brian Bellows also equally as good at getting those goals as we've seen once again here tonight. 2 goals, 57 on the year. And right now, the coach of the North Stars talking to his players with 1:43 to go.
What a game, and we've got the rematch on Friday night. Our next North Stars game here on Receptive Channel 9 coming up Friday night starting at 7 o'clock with our special pregame show with Perry and Jim and all the rest. 7:35 for play-by-play.
We've got a strap that's come loose on Greg Mill on the far end. I think that was a little bit of a tactic on the part of the Blackhawks to just kill that clock off a little bit. There's no way that pad is going to unsnap like that. He waited until they're almost ready to drop the puck and then signaled the referee.
And Gregson came scooting back. What is this? Now to Gavin. Get away from the bench.
Tactics back and forth. If you do it, you can get away with it. Right now, Pierre talking to one of his premier defensive players, Stuart Gavin of the North Stars.
One of 4 North Stars to play all 80 games of the 1989-90 regular season. And their leader in shorthanded goals with 3.
Dave Gagne's team doing a good job here defending against the top line for Chicago.
Aaron Broughton for the draw against Dennis Savard to the right of Casey. They mix it up. Chambers had a piece of it, and Chambers punches it out of the zone. Inside 90 seconds, then it's fair game for Greg Millen to be gone, and it's 90 seconds to go right now. Here comes Secord. Hawks come to center. Millen stays put. Secord down the left wing, checked by Chambers. Long center. Here's a chance to Yanni, but a hard wrist shot went high. And now Millen is standing with his arms outstretched to the Chicago bench, wanting to know when to leave. He's been given no indication, apparently. We can't see the bench from here. We're blocked by the scoreboard. Now the puck comes back. He can't leave now in any event. He didn't know he was standing there with his arms outstretched. Last minute of play of the game. 2-1 North Stars lead. Casey touches it away for Tenorti. Skipped out of the zone. 50 seconds, and Millen has to stay put. Now Manson behind the net for Chicago. Millen a long look to the bench, but then he looked over and there was Bellows. Puck through neutral. Chambers turns it back out. Bellows has the puck. Ahead for Broughton, but they were offside 2 lines.
Great play by Chambers as he got the puck. He just didn't fire. He played it off the boards perfectly to Bellows on the far side. They didn't want the offside, but at least the face-off is down on the Chicago side of that red line with 35 seconds to go. The North Stars lead 2-1, and Greg Milne, the goaltender for Chicago, not able to get out of his net as yet, as Mike Keenan now is signaling a couple of players he thinks will be key players in this situation, one of them being Doug Wilson, that he just tapped on the arm to go onto the ice. And of course Steve Larmer will be out there, you can bet. And also Creighton out there using his side, and Thomas as well. And so we'll see what happens now. Low scoring game, but a very tough physical game, and you can be a lot of bumps and bruises after this one.
34 seconds to play. North Stars lead 2-1. Duchesne pops it up. Puck is at neutral. Creighton jams it ahead. Thomas in. Checked off it by Duchesne. Chambers banks it to neutral, but Bellows falls. Here's Duchesne at his own blue line. For Brian Bellows, who has both the Stars' goals. Launches it in. 13 seconds to go. Nowhere for Greg Millen to go, obviously, now. Now he's going to skate toward the bench with 7 seconds to go. Now Larmer flings one in off the blocker of KC. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1. It is over, and the North Stars win the opening game of the 1990 Stanley Cup playoffs. Holy smoke, the Stars rebound after a 4-1 loss here in the last game of the regular season Sunday night. Brian Bellows offensively, the penalty killing crew, and what a night for